or something, and then they're just like impatient.
Well, then they'll understand.
Yeah, don't listen to them. It's just...
I think a good starting point, just because I wanted to kick it off with something that ties it in. So we should talk about how we know you, and to do that, we got to talk about how Tila knows you.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit of that story, but I don't know it all.
Why don't we introduce ourselves first?
Yeah,
we should get at the point where we do the lower third stuff. Just saying.
We're too used to doing this just by ourselves. Okay, so for anybody who's joining in new on this, my name's...
Because there might be a lot of people that do.
There probably
will be. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jesse.
And we have today our special guest.
Antaya, Fairless. How I met Tila was actually, I was looking for an apartment at the time. And this was a while ago, though.
That would have been...
That was on
in 2012,
Herrick.
so it would have been after 2012.
Or not Herrick, Louth. There was a whole story with that whole thing at the end, too. So anyway, I think they had an ad up or something, and I obviously replied to it, and I went to look at it. I met her for like 2 seconds. She's like, "You're great, you can move in." So I was renting the basement part. It was an unfinished basement, but it had a bedroom that was finished. And it was actually a nice bedroom, so I moved in there, and she, I think, had just gotten married.
Okay.
I think, like, they literally they were going to get married, and then I was only there for, I think I was only there for about, like, 6 months or something. Maybe more. I may be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But, yeah, so I was there for about 6 months, and then they moved out because they'd gotten married, so they wanted their own place, right? So they moved out, and then I couldn't afford the rent because it was like, I don't know, something normal for a whole house. So I found a subletter who turned out to be absolutely insane and actually turned out to start growing weed upstairs without me knowing. And therefore my hydro went to it was like $1,500 for the month.
Whew.
So hydro got shut off. And long story short, landlords kicked us out. But landlords kicked me out because they found marijuana paraphernalia in my room.
Okay.
Which was literally just a pipe with nothing, no actual...
And that was enough for them to say you gotta go?
Apparently, yeah. Apparently. So that was the whole story with Tila. And then we didn't talk for a while, actually. She just kind of moved, and that's when I was doing a lot of drugs at the time. So that whole living there was kind of a blur. But... yeah, that's how we met.
And I mean, what is the reason you think you'd stayed in contact throughout the years?
I don't know. I liked her. I thought she was nice. I thought she was strange, like me, in a good way, not a bad way. And because she had the D&D group, right? And I'm huge into D&D. I never joined the group. I didn't know that. Yeah, they had a group, and it's a lot of.
It's a group filled with strange people. You'd probably get along.
The guys were a fan of me because it was mostly like these very sweet, nerdy guys, the typical what you envision when you think nerdy guy, right? So very sweet, no idea how to talk to women. So it was just a whole bumbling thing. But ever since I realized that she had a D&D group and they were super into magic, I was a big fan. So I don't know, I'd actually contacted her months later because I needed a copy of the rent receipt to file my taxes.
Yeah.
And we kind of started talking again. And she knew I modeled and stuff. So I think all of that kind of coincided with each other.
I think that brings us up to speed with, at least where I met you in person, is you came by as a model. I think, who was it?
I never even saw that shoot still.
Tila has it on your computer, on her computer.
It was the thing with her, the accident she had, so that's not, I totally understand. I just think I don't remember how long ago that was.
That was last June. Last June, yeah.
Really?
Last June.
Wow.
Yep. So, yeah, about a year
It's longer than I thought.
Maybe those pictures will come out eventually. I don't know what she's doing with them or why she hasn't edited them. But
I stopped modeling I'm kind of getting back into it again, but I haven't had time with the horses and everything. It's just been so chaotic that it's something that I want to get into, but it's hard to find paid jobs, right? So I did know at the time that you were, I guess, really into horses and taking care of your own horses. Do you have your own horses? Yeah, I have 3.
3 horses, okay. Mm-hmm. And how long have you had those ones?
Okay, so trying to make this as short as possible. I started riding when I was, I think, 4.
Okay.
With what they call pony pals, which you're just led around on a pony. You're not actually really riding. And my mother used to ride, I guess, when she was younger. I'm not really sure of the full story with that, but I just know that she used to ride, and she was really passionate about it. And then I kind of, became a little bit, obsession is probably the right word, to be honest. Obsession is the right word. And then I got Rose, who was my first horse when I think it was like 8 years ago. Because she was 11 and she's turning 19 this year. Okay. Then I got Silas when 40 Erie Racetrack closed. They thought for good because they lost the slot machines, which was their major source of income. And all those horses were being sent to wherever meet, or there were literally people walking up and down the shed row with horses going, take this horse or it's going to slaughter, take this horse or it's going to slaughter. It's like, I can't prove one horse.
I guess you got to take a couple horses at that point.
That's the thing, right?
It gets me onto the idea of, I know, I've seen Steelers show me some of the controversies that happen in the comment sections of the things that you post on Facebook. Have the vegans ever gone after you for the horseback riding thing?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? What's that like? What kind of heat do you get?
People have this idea. And I have friends that are vegan, that are like what I would call normal vegans. Like literally what you think a normal vegan is. And not these crazy, everything you do is wrong. If you feed your cats dry food, you're wrong. And so a lot of people have this idea that horses being in stalls is like abuse. Okay. My horses hate being outside at certain times. Like when it's really hot in the summer, what they'll do is they'll literally start galloping the fence line and fighting and rearing and bucking and biting each other, and it's dangerous, right? Because they want to come in. So we've pretty much trained them just to go out at like 7 or 8 a.m. and then stay out until, depends on when it gets dark out. In the summer, sometimes they'll stay out till like 8 or 9. It depends. And they want to be outside, but then they want to come inside to have that comfortable stall, and they're separated because if you feed horses grains together, some of the horses they're going to fight. Yeah. The leader of the herd is going to probably fight off all the other horses and steal their grain. It's a whole thing. So I try to explain, and with riding too, it's like there's a lot of people that think that, and say that we're, exploiting the horses, and these horses like what they're doing. Like we look for something that these horses enjoy doing. Like if I had a horse, I haven't had it yet, but if I had a horse that didn't like jumping, I wouldn't do it. We do dressage or something. And they make it quite obvious, but especially all of our guys are off the track thoroughbreds, so they have energy. They can't just sit in a field all day. Do
you think it's maybe because of the perception people have about just abused animals that maybe they'll generalize? Because I know a lot of vegans, even if they are very hardcore with their beliefs and stuff, they might still have pets and they might still buy stuff from breeders. Yeah. And it's just this personal thing where like, well, I love this animal and I know I'm taking care of it properly. There's
a fine line. I think people will also do the whole, it's my animal, so it's fine, but maybe judge other people that are doing the same thing, but because it's not their animal and they're not, they don't have a tie to that animal that they think differently, but I don't know, and you know what, most of the people that message me about that kind of stuff make literally no sense. No. Like, it's like they are reaching.
Like, what's an argument that they would make?
I've had people that told me that horses should be free. They should not even be fenced in fields. I'm like, where?
Could in modern times horses even exist?
Certain places there are wild horses still.
I believe.
That'd be dangerous.
It is.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, it would never work. No. They'd all die. All of them. And horses run to open areas, so they're going to run to highways and they're going to run to roads. They're not going to run to a forest like they should. They instinctively, for some reason, go to open areas. So there are parts of the world where horses live literally wild, and it's fine, but those herds die off because there's either poachers that are hunting them, and not usually for meat, it's usually to train them, right, and make them bucking horses or whatever, but it's not feasible here for any horses to be wild. Even if you have 100 acres of land, they're going to go towards civilization eventually, right? So it's, but you are supposed to have an acre per horse. That isn't really, it's hard to do. Like
I can see that adding up quite a bit. Like even a decent sized property out here is maybe like 3 acres.
Yeah, so our horses have like acre fields, and there's only 4 of them, and they have plenty of room. Like now there's a farm down the street from us, which I do not agree with. It's probably a good 10 or 15 horses within, I'd say, I don't even know how to explain it. Like the size of this house.
Really? That's pretty
probably,
tight quarters.
Yeah, it's small enough that they can't pick up a trot or canter. All they can do is walk.
I get that they might be competitive, but are they necessarily territorial? Like, do they lock down on a spot of land and make that their own?
With horses, if they're wild? I think so. I'm pretty sure that they have some kind of territory, but they're always going to be moving at least a little bit. So they have like a general area, especially if there's like they need to find water. It's like wildebeest will follow, like, you know, in those areas where water moves, they'll follow water. But with horses, because it's usually a pond or some kind of stationary water source, they'll just kind of hang around there, usually, I think.
It's kind of interesting. I know, was it you that got to go photograph horses recently?
Yeah, I got to photograph a horse. The horse is just around a year old. We brought, like, Tila did photos. We flew the drone around a little bit just so he could get used to.
What do you think of the drone?
Overhead. He was actually, he was fine. It was one of the first times that the rider was able to ride him. Mm-hmm. He stepped on my foot.
Yeah, I heard.
Twice.
He's a yearling and she's riding him? Are you sure he's a year?
He might just be. I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for
the
age. He's young.
Yeah.
And she was just at the cusp of being able to ride him.
Of breaking him.
So whatever that age is, she takes care. So.
See, it depends on the person. Like in the racing industry, they do, like, they're racing by the time they're like 2. I personally don't agree with that. Like, if I was horses that I would break, I haven't done it in quite a while, would usually be about 3.5. They don't stop growing until they're about 5, but nobody's gonna break a horse when they're 5, right? Like, that's too late, I think. I think about 3 is good, but it all depends on the person and what they're being used for, right?
I mean, I've seen the horse. That was the second time, and he seems content with her. He's very comfortable with her, and very social with the other horses. So he is in good hands. I had family who had horses, so I have grown up with them. I used to ride them a little bit when I was younger, but nothing serious. So he seems like a good-natured horse. No hard feelings.
You got to work with them a lot when they're younger.
My foot wasn't supposed to be there.
They can't feel it.
Well, I figured that.
On you, they don't know.
It was neat. I was helping because as he's learning surroundings, we were walking, and there was a path of stones, and he was very nervous about walking over the stones.
Gravel. Yeah, so it makes noise.
Yep, I was walking him through it, and he thanked me.
Do horses get uncomfortable walking on like a rock kind of surface?
Apparently their depth perception is horrible.
Okay, so with horses, say we're going over a jump. All right, so I don't know the exact distance, but it's only like something like 2 meters. So they can see things, but it's like with me, I have bad vision. So if I take my glasses off, everything's blurry, but I can kind of see what it is. Like I can see that it's a person. So it's only about 2 or 3 meters that it actually becomes clear. It's literally just this blur of color, I guess. So they're fully trusting you. And so for the horses that do like high level show jumper, like they're literally seeing it like 3 meters before, and they're going, okay, that's the height I have to jump. I think it's incredible.
I didn't even know that fact. That would be something you'd have to have a really good bond to do.
Yeah, or sometimes it just depends on the horse. Like
maybe it's more
there are some horses that are naturally brave.
Yeah,
they are fight or flight. It's like when people ask me, I have a lot of people that come in that are just starting lessons, and they will assume that horses are like big dogs. And I try to explain them that if I actually was to compare a horse to an animal, I would compare it to a bird, because essentially they're flight animals, but they're big flight animals. And there are some horses that are super calm and not like a lot of horses, but then there's most horses that will spook. Like there's no such thing as a bomb-proof horse. Any horse can spook at any time. There are more calm horses, but they are going to run through you if there is danger behind them and you are in the way. So that's why I kind of have to teach my students to read horse body language so they can see this before it happens, and to stay away from certain parts of the horse in general, just in case, right? But they can jump sideways. Like there are some times where I've been hurt where it could not be avoided at all. And there were some times where I was hurt where it was absolutely my fault. And it just happens so quickly sometimes, and you get so comfortable around horses, being around them all the time. I think sometimes I forget how big they are, and even though I know my horses very well, even the ones that don't spook, like Curly, one of my mom's horses, isn't really a spooker, and he spooked last year and stepped on my foot, and I didn't expect it, and I didn't even think about it. You should be thinking about where the horse is at all times around you, and I wasn't, because I got too comfortable.
It sounds like, would you say that horses are probably your number one passion out, for something you would do recreationally? Or I guess it is almost a job at the point you're taking care of an animal, but...
I want it to become a career, but it's very hard.
Is there anything else that you would put on that level that you just have to do?
I don't actually think so.
No?
I think that horses would probably be not on that level. I have other passions, but this trumps it always. Like if something's happening with horses over, because I'm a vocalist. I was a vocalist in high school, and I did some training. I haven't done training since, but I also modeled. I did some photography for a while as well, but all those things are not fully realized yet. Like they're all just kind of things
Are you doing any of those things like right now, you would say? Like you have...
modeling, no.
No.
I want to get back into it.
Yeah.
And photography, kind of. I shoot a lot of the horse stuff. Obviously,
of course.
So it kind of coincides.
Being able to time things out would be a skill that you would have over us, for sure.
Yeah, and then vocally wise, I'm nothing professional.
No.
Right now, at least.
Do you want to be like in a band, or do you want to be in like a choir or something like that?
I'd like to have a band. I did when I was younger. Very unprofessional. Again, not fully realized bands, just fun battle of the bands kind of stuff.
More band than I've ever been a part of.
And I've always wanted to learn to play the fiddle. I don't know why. I haven't started, but that's something I have a lot of things that are on the back burner because I'm so desperate to get... Actually, desperate's not the right word. I'm determined to get this whole horse, but realistically, for me to be successful, I'd have to have about 8 or 9 more horses. Because when I teach lessons, all the 3 horses my mom has 2 horses as well, but the horses that I'm using are not fully trained because they're green. Which there's all sorts of levels of green. Like there's baby green where just you ride them, and then there's like my mom's horse Curly, who doesn't bend properly, and he has a lot of stuff we have to work on, but he's really good with kids. So you can just throw a kid on him and he's fine, right? But I would need well-trained, quite a few horses, because places that make money, they have about 6 or 7 horses in each lesson, and they're doing like 3 lessons a day. Right.
What kind of, so you're talking about a business now at this point. What kind of, you need employees to help you with that kind of thing?
Well, once I have money, I would need someone to, do the stalls and take care of the horses while I teach and everything, but it's just so much money.
To get into it. Yeah, big startup cost for sure.
Well, first of all, my parents are the ones who own the farm.
Right.
So I would have to expand that barn with their permission and my money. My actual goals, realistically, I'd have to get my own farm. Realistically.
More costs.
Yeah. Or rent a barn, which is possible. I know a couple people that have done that, and if it's been successful, but you kind of have to like get, like, as soon as you start running that barn, you have to like have students tomorrow and have all your lessons to be able to afford it, right? It's like, I would need a farm with, like, people will rent their whole farms out, which is pretty cool. Like arena and sand ring and all the grass for the horses. And then I'd have to have employees right away to be taking care of the horses. It's a very big dream. I always wanted to go to the Olympics with riding too, and that still hasn't happened. So it's a lot of dreams that I know probably aren't gonna either not gonna happen or aren't gonna happen for a long period of time. But I'm not gonna stop trying.
It sounds like it takes a massive work ethic to do that, and then I know taking care of horses is almost a full-time job as soon as you start. but you got to find every second of the day, it seems like, to make anything like that work.
Yeah, and well, ever since I moved out, my mom's been doing most of it. Like, I go there 2 or 3 days a week to do stalls, but she likes doing it, but there's only a couple horses there. It's like, if it was a big operation, like if I was to be like really successful, like to compete against all the other hundreds of barns around here, I'd have to have very good quality horses. That doesn't necessarily mean expensive, like well-trained horses. I'd have to have a couple nice trailers to bring them to shows, because showing's big money as well. Like, you charge a coaching fee, you charge to trailer them, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's just so many things that go into this whole business, right? It's like, there's like, and then there's little mini businesses with like the shows. That's almost like its own business, because it's a whole different thing. It's away from the farm. So you have to have almost, you know what, if I was to have a big setup, you'd have to, all these big places have like other instructors too. Like, it's not just you. Like,
yeah, it sounds like you would need staff at that point.
Yeah, I'd have to hire competent instructors and people to take care of the horses. And you got to have backup people. Like, if someone calls in, you know, are you gonna do it? You know, it's like, it's there's just so many things that go into it. So right now it's just like a couple times a week, you know, one student, it's like $30, but it's not something that's substantial right now.
It sounds like, to do it right, it needs to have a turnkey business mentality with immense planning ahead of time, which is the exact opposite of what a turnkey business would be. If you get access to a farm right away, you need to have everything. Like
you have to have it already. You have to have students. You realistically, you'd either have to have a lot of money saved to get you through however long it's going to be. Well, students pay by lesson in cash, so like they can do it per month.
I guess it's like a subscription kind of thing, almost, to like,
you can do it like per week or per month, and then you take a little bit of money off.
Like 15 years of riding lessons, prepaid.
That'd be amazing.
I mean, people buy timeshares, right? So there's people that'll do that kind of thing.
And I've always wanted to also like get into breeding, and you know, I've always wanted to.
There's a lot of money in that. That's a big business.
Yeah, that's very looked down on too. We were talking about vegans earlier as well. That's not just vegans that look down on it. They're like, well, adopt a horse, and you know, it's breeding. Breeding is one of the reasons why there is slaughter. However, I find that actual top level professional breeding, no one's going to pay. Like, there's a farm called Blazing Colors, and they have all these. They do very, very well, like very well for themselves. And they have these beautiful horses, and they're all quality. And they have like tons of stallions, and all of them are quality, registered, tested, everything. And I think they charge like $9,000 for a custom baby, where you can use one of their mares and one of their stallions, and it's custom, right? And then if you were to breed to their stallions, I think it's at least a couple grand. So there's lots of money in it. It's just, I don't even want to know how much she paid for those stallions in the first place, right? So it's this whole, like you were saying, you have to kind of have it all planned. I'd have to buy all the stallions on the same day and get them in there and have mares already waiting, and you know, you'd have to have a lot of money saved up. That's why most people that are doing this are older. That are like, my mom bought the farm when she was like 43, right?
Well, let's change that wording. For the record. So mom bought the farm isn't the best way to word it.
Yeah, true.
But in this case, it literally happened.
Yeah, right? So it's like,
how do you think, like, what would be your game plan? What kind of work are you going to do to make the cash flow happen, you think? Because I know you will bring it up eventually, what you one of your jobs are. But I know. I've seen that you post usually when you get a new job on Facebook and stuff, and it's a lot of very different things. So that's not one was like woodworking or something?
Yeah, I've been having a very hard time finding a job. And like minimum wage jobs, not like good jobs, like minimum wage jobs.
Really?
I've been having a really hard time.
I know call centers are always open for business, but they're terrible.
I'm applying, but I still don't have my license because I couldn't get my license legally for the longest time because I had a seizure disorder. But it's now I can get my license, but now it's finding time because I work like every day, right? So when am I going to go get my license? So once I have my license, there's a lot more jobs I can apply for because a lot of the woodworking stuff I'm applying for, you need to be able to drive, right? You need to be able to drive a truck to go get a load of wood or whatever it is. But most places, even a lot of minimum wage jobs want you to have a license.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess that's a good part to transition then. So,
wait, pause for a second though. The woodworking, you view apparently I've missed a bit.
Oh.
You do woodworking as well?
I started at a place called Kingswood Millwork and Design, and I was making windows and doors.
Okay.
But we also did like some cabinets and stuff like that, and I learned how to make basic stuff. I'm trying to learn how to do more. I've always had this pipe dream, again, more dreams that I've had that I always want to start making stuff and like eventually have like kind of like an Etsy page, but obviously like different.
Custom furniture or something?
Yeah, but I can't do super intricate stuff. Like I can do like tables and dressers and stuff, but I can't do like stairwells and stuff like that. So I'd eventually like to have like a page with like 4 or 5 already made, so people could just, and then have custom stuff too, but that's a whole other thing. It's just right now I'm literally applying for everything that I can think of. Like I'm not picky.
So to get into the meat of it, I guess. So it's between jobs. You work as an escort. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what about that doesn't require you to have a car? That's the first thing I'm curious about. Yeah. You just get picked up?
Yeah. Okay, so
you don't. I would have thought you'd have to meet clientele at certain places.
I'm trying to think of how to start from the beginning with the escort.
I just want to say this. I was talking to Melissa this week, and how weird it is to say, hey, I'm doing this interview on Sunday, and I've done a lot of research. Like, I am now a pro.
Really?
You could do it yourself.
Oh. but I'd be very niche.
Well, but it's a unique opportunity because I got the feeling just from what I know about you that you'd be fine with talking about it, which was really cool to begin with. And I'm like, I don't know anything about this.
It happened.
I want to learn.
So
I want to learn.
Same with me being an addict. Like I have some people that kind of look down on me for being very open, but like that's kind of my therapy almost, is being able to deal with everything. Is being able to be open about it, and I don't regret doing it because I did it. Like what is regretting having done it gonna do? I don't see what that's gonna accomplish. All it's gonna do is make me feel like crap.
Yeah. And I suppose there's nothing. So there's nothing about the entire time that you've been doing it that you would say, like a different decision you would have made. Like I know there's got to be mistakes out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it seem like regret is not the right word.
Right.
I don't want to do it anymore.
No.
Now. But I don't regret having done it. I regret having done a ridiculous amount of drugs. Like I started, so I was, long story short, I was prescribed Percocet when I was like pretty young. And I obviously became addicted. There's so many people that'll argue if you take it properly, you will get addicted. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who you are. You will get addicted over time. That's just what happens chemically.
I think people are more willing to accept that now with the epidemic that is going on.
Yeah.
And prescriptions are, definitely a huge issue, even in Canada, but more so in the States.
Yeah, and I was just I've had some bad luck, in my life. Like, I've had some crappy luck. So how I actually got into escorting was...
Good place to start.
I think I was 18. I was just old enough. And I had posted actually a Kijiji ad for modeling, like because I wanted to get into modeling. I had done a shoot with Brian Youngblood. I'm not sure if he's still doing photography, but he was great, and I really liked it. So I'm like, you know what? Because he didn't have time to do food. It was trade for ones, right? So he gets to keep the pictures and use them for his portfolio, and I get to keep them so nobody pays anybody. It's right when you're in the beginning.
Right.
And so this guy, the only person that I put like a headshot of me, right? Just like, this is what I look like, you know, because that's all I thought you needed was, hi, this is what I look like, I could model, right? So this guy messages me and he's like, I don't know if this is weird, but would you ever consider prostitution? He didn't even say escort. He just straight up called it prostitution. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I was so furious. I was so angry. I'm like, that's so offensive. And who do you think you are? And then I like thought about it for like a week. Actually, you know what? No, I didn't. I like forgot about it. I'm wrong on that one. I forgot about it. And then like, I was having a hard time affording my riding lessons. Cause I'm 25 now. Rosie was my first horse that I had. So, and I was having a hard time affording everything. So I'm like, you know, maybe I'll try it one time. So I messaged him back and he like, it's like, I didn't even send him that awful message. He's like, cool. When do you want me to meet you? Like, not like, you know, don't be so rude. No, just, okay, I'll pick you up. So he actually,
really,
my parents are mad about this. Sorry if you see this, but so he came to the house. Actually, I was living at my parents'.
Ooh.
To like interview me, and I told them he was like a friend. My mom knows about this, so she was pretty angry. I was young and dumb, and I know that it was not appropriate for everybody who's going to be watching this, but it was not a good idea. That's something maybe I regret. He was very nice. He's a giant nerd. He's the last person that you would think would be, I guess, a pimp, I guess you'd call him. He definitely didn't have like a pimp cane, and he definitely wasn't didn't have a crown or anything. He was just the nerdiest, most innocent looking guy you've ever met, and that worked in his favor. And it was called My Secret Girlfriend, and I was told that there was a bunch of other girls, and that like, you know, he had drivers for them all, and I was with him for about 4 months, and I never met one of these other girls except for one. So we went to this, I think it was the Admiral Inn in Hamilton. It was not bad. It was a relatively nice hotel. It wasn't like shitty or anything. So my first client was this German guy, and I was so intimidated. Like he bought he bought me a bottle of like Jack Daniels so I could do it, because I'm like, I'm so nervous. You know, I had my fun in high school, so I was relatively experienced. But this is a totally different dynamic, like between someone who is paying you.
Well, now it's customer service.
Right, yeah. And it is, though. People don't realize that it's customer service. Like, you know, people whine about it, and oh, it's awful, and it's not a real job. And I'm like, sorry, it was hard to do. Like, I'm sorry. It took a lot out of you, and it's physically demanding, obviously. And he was super nice. It's just like, he gave me like white wine, and I didn't like white wine, but I was so nervous that I drank like 4 glasses of it. And very nice man, had a very thick accent, so that made me more nervous because I couldn't understand him, right? Wanted just normal stuff. And then the second guy that I saw didn't actually want anything sexual. He brought me cookies, and we sat there for 2 hours and talked. So
I have heard of stories like that before. Is that a really common thing where a client is just
I was just going to say that kind of got me excited for thinking that was like normal. You know, maybe you go on dates sometimes, or maybe you're like, I escorted one guy to his bar opening, and that was pretty cool. But other than that, it's literally they come there, they want sex, and they leave. That's not true. Most of them come in and they talk. Like, we talk for most of the time. And then, you know, we start doing everything sexual. But usually, honestly, most people, it's like 5 minutes of sex, and the rest of it's just talking. I think it's because they know they can't last that long, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair
You
enough.
know your limits, stay within it, I guess.
Yeah,
it's just a lesson there.
If you got to get your time's worth, you might as well just delay it.
But the funniest thing, just jumping ahead a little bit for a second, is I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm quite a nervous person. Like, I'm sure you can tell. I'm very, like, when I'm nervous. But I I just totally forgot where I was going with that. Where was I jumping ahead to? Oh yeah, when I have clients that would come in, even though I've been doing this for years, and it still made me nervous. They'd come in and they'd just like sit on the bed and they'd be like, okay, I want to start. I am not used to that. I'm used to people laying down. I give them a massage because I'm really good at giving massages. And, you know, where are you from? What do you do for a living? You know, what are your hobbies? Not just like, hey, what's up? Let's fuck now, please.
See, I don't. I think even in the regular sex lives of most individuals, there has to be a little bit of a build up.
Yeah,
and even if it's a hookup, you gotta like get to know the person a little bit, or else it just doesn't make sense.
And like, I was always very careful. So I had a lot of clients that were pissed off at me because I don't let people eat me out. And if they do, they're using those gross, weird rubber things.
The dental dam, yeah.
I'm not. You can catch. There's so many girls and like clients that don't realize that you can get STDs from oral. It's not as likely, but you can get STDs from oral.
Herpes first and foremost,
of course.
But
you can get other.
What else?
You can. I'm pretty sure you can get gonorrhea, chlamydia. I'm pretty sure you can get most of those things from oral. It depends. Especially if they're like, if you're a female and they're finishing in your mouth, right? Obviously, that's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah.
But you would be surprised, and you'd be surprised the amount of men that wanted no condom, like all.
It's a very strange offer in the sense that, like, I guess I don't know if I would ever use such a service as an escort, just based on the way that my life has been. I don't. It's never seemed necessary. Maybe I'll be older one day and it'll make more sense. But I don't know. I tend to limit the risks in my life enough, and it's one more thing I don't have to worry about when it comes to protection. And I don't see, especially given the day and age, that people wouldn't consider it basically the standard.
Yeah, I don't think.
And I sit there and I lecture these men. I'm like, listen to me. Like I turn into a mother, like literally instantly. I'm like, you need to listen.
Actually, that's a turn on.
Oh, it's a turn. A lot of them leave.
There's a lot. Wow.
I don't care if you leave. I care. The thing is all the girls that I worked. I'm going to say 99.9% of the girls that I worked with did not give a fuck about any of these people at all. I can swear on this, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They don't care about these clients. They're just money. Just like a lot of clients don't care about the girls. They're just pussy, right? But I am different. I've always cared about my clients. So when someone tells me that they want to do no condom, I'm like, you do realize that, like I'm clean. But any escort that's willing to do no condom with you is doing no condom with other escorts who are doing no condom with other clients, who are doing no condom with other escorts, who are doing no condom with other clients, and so on. It's already risky enough.
It's a cesspool.
It's already risky enough going to a bar and sleeping with someone without a condom. Never mind a woman who does this for a living, who is willing to do it with no condom with some random guy. So I told people, if you want to do it with no condom, it's about $200 extra. You have to go get tested. You have to bring it with photo ID, and I will sleep with you. No one has done it since. No one.
That's a lot of forethought. I don't think you...
I need proof.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You know, I need proof.
Do you think that kind of thing would be more reasonable given a situation where all of this is just like upfront business legal? Like you have places that are just, a big building you can go to and you can sign up for exactly what you want. Just because then it would be more like the pornography industry where everybody is checked on a systematic basis, and it's not such an individual task at that point.
No. Like I get tested at least once a month. When I was working, I was getting tested every 2 weeks. Although it does take a while for them. I've had a couple condoms break. Obviously, I've been doing this for like I was 18, so almost 7 years, I guess. If you include my 2 regulars that I've had for the last year. I haven't done it like in a rub and tug or with anybody else really. Just like I was explaining to him earlier, it's like once in a while if I'm really struggling, maybe I'll see a client or 2. But I really just have my 2 regulars that I don't see as escorting anymore. They're my friends. It's
how often does a regular usually stick with you? Like
usually once a week.
Once a week?
I have one that's a really good friend of mine whose name I'm absolutely not going to mention.
Oh,
and
no.
We've probably been seeing each other for about 2 years now, every week. Yeah. And I went there and stayed the night, and we have dinner, and he's a friend of mine.
Do you think that this kind of thing just suits that person's needs so perfectly that they wouldn't want anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He's not. He's a little bit older. I'd say he's maybe 50.
Okay.
He doesn't look like it. He's in really good shape. Takes really good care of himself. But he likes being alone. I don't think he's ever been married unless correct me if I'm wrong. He wants to watch this. So,
very welcome.
I don't know if he's been married. I don't think so. He doesn't seem like it. But he's very clean, beautiful house. He's seen other girls, and he has other girls, I think, on the side as well. But he's just never. And you know what? Most of my clients that I see, there's a huge misconception about people that see escorts being losers, and most of the people I saw were like doctors and lawyers.
See, my perception's always been it's people with more money that would go that route.
Work a lot and don't have time to
traveling. People that travel, people that aren't looking for a relationship, that aren't looking for the commitment, and people that I call hobbyists who just have a fetish for it. Literally, it's just a turn on for them just to see an escort.
The escort itself is the turn on, or they have specific fetishes that they.
Well, there's also people with specific fetishes that like. Whoever won't do for them, or they can't find people to do for them. Most escorts won't do much, though, honestly. Most escorts won't do much more than a girl at a bar will, unless you have money.
Putting you on the spot, what's the weirdest thing somebody asked you to do?
There's lots of stuff. I really hope my mother doesn't find this on YouTube. Lots of things.
Don't forget this. Welcome to our fictional podcast.
All right, back to the.
You're gonna make me spit up my water.
This is acting.
Okay, so.
And scene.
I've had a couple things. No, I've had a lot of things. I'm just trying to remember them all. Well, see, I don't know. I have things that I don't find weird anymore because I've done them so many times. This will be interesting. Like, I've fucked a lot of guys in the ass with strap-ons. That's normal to me now. That is maybe weird for some people.
It's not like a thing that's dissociated from sex almost. I don't know if it's necessarily a fetish, unless they're specifically a submissive type that just that's all usually they want. Is. Yeah, and that's all. They're
submissive. Yeah. But you can call anything a fetish. Literally. I guess there's people that say they have an oral fetish and they just like oral. Who doesn't like oral? No, actually, I have a guy friend who hates oral, so it's the weirdest thing. But anyways, that wouldn't be the weirdest. Like I've had people that wanted me to pee on them. Yeah, which I did. I had this one guy though that used to get I always got bladder shy because I find it gross, so we do it in like a shower and I'd be like, okay, can't touch me afterwards, like you're just gonna go do your thing, I'm gonna leave. But I would like pee on him and he'd like drink it and I'd like like the whole time, but I got used to it. I don't care anymore, but like it was just and he loved it. It was like, I don't know, juice.
Now, as he's drinking your pee,
no jacking off, nothing.
No, it's just
that's the fetish. Okay,
yeah, it's itself. Like it's just the urine itself. I've had people ask me to like shit on them. That's something I will absolutely never.
No, that's going pretty far.
Consider, and the other way around too. Like people wanted to do it to me, and I'm like, no. I had a transvestite show up, which I have a lot of transvestite friends, so this is not against you guys, but I had someone that showed up that I did not know was trans. This was right when I first started, and I was so embarrassed. Because we ask that you tell us some things up front, like if you're trans, I'd like to know, just so that I don't get caught off guard, and so I don't embarrass myself like I did, right? And... Yeah. Like, I guess you'd call, I don't know, what would I be considered? Is that pansexual where you are attracted to transgenders as well? I don't know what the
pansexual tends to go for you just... it's more of like a sexual attraction to basically anybody. Like, you still obviously have attractions to specific features about people, but it's not about any... It goes beyond male, female. It's about other gender identities.
So that's what I am. Yeah. So I had no problem with it. It's just this... I didn't realize I was attracted to transgender women or men at that time. And I had never actually seen one nude before. And she had like these big tits, like big, actually really well done fake tits. And she's this beautiful Asian lady. But then she had this huge dick, that was actually pretty large for an Asian person. So that was
possibly on hormones as well. So.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I literally did not know. I had absolutely zero idea until we were like doing stuff, and then she got hard. So again, which I have no problem with, but I was so shocked because I just had no idea that I laughed, and I'm looking at someone's dick and I laughed at it. So picture being a male.
Yeah. It would definitely
and me going,
it would definitely be a turn off.
It was like gone in a second, and she actually left quite angry as I'm going, please, no, I don't have a problem with you. I don't. It's just I had no idea, and I've never seen that before, and I was just so young and so new to it.
How common of occurrence has it been since that you would somebody who's trans?
Never have I had seen with someone since.
Really?
That was the only ever transgender individual that I saw. I think it's because I've worked at a lot of spas and a lot of people are embarrassed. There are a lot of people in general that won't come to spas because it's like you're walking into a spa, if you like most of them, like the one I worked at is on Welland Ave, right beside the Book Depot or Book whatever it's called in St. Catharines, and it's like literally on like a giant main street, Max's Massage. Right, that I live across.
Is it up front, or is it just like a socially well-known thing as to what goes on there?
Well, first of all, Max's Massage, everybody knows. Yeah, it's called Max's Massage. Same with like seductions. It's like girls. Like
that one's very blatant.
Yeah, it is.
Very, very blatant. It's like, yeah, we're a rub and tug. What of it? Like, come on in. But there were a lot of people that would contact me via my ad because I would post ads on Backpage as I was at the spa because I never made much money at the spa. And the craziest thing is, all these other girls that I'm not having any ego, they are not attractive. And they're saying they're pulling in like $1,000 a night. Like, I think the most I ever made was when I first started. Like, you don't make as much money as people make it seem like. It's very hard to make money, especially nowadays.
So a spa, like the one you were at, how does the price breakdown work? What's the structure?
So what we were supposed to charge was...
so you all considered like self-employed? They don't do any of the advertising?
No, they do the advertising.
Okay.
It's not very good.
I know I had a woman call me to do photos once.
Yeah.
And she was going to pay, and it turned into just offering me 3 of her women for a set period of time. I said no.
Were they attractive?
I didn't even get to that point because
the money's what you're after at that point.
Yeah, because you're still paying, right? Yeah. Like, if you're not getting money for it, then that means you're paying, right? Yeah. So a lot of people will see that as, oh, well, I'm getting this for free. No, you're actually paying, right? Like, you're just getting an exchange. But all of these girls, like, that's when I started smoking crack when okay, so all right, let me just kind of pull this all in for a second because I'm ADHD, so I just go all over the place. I started working after my secret girlfriend, that little tiny itty bitty thing that turns out I was the only girl with the pimp. Mm-hmm. Turns out I was the only girl except for one girl that I do duos with sometimes that she'd just do coke the whole time. Then I realized that there were such things as rub and tugs, okay, which I thought were literally just hands. No, it's everything. Although they do exist, where it's literally just your hand and nothing else. But so I kind of looked it up on Google, and I saw there's one called Pink Pearl, which I should have known from the name that it was kind of ghetto, but... So I called the lady. Her name's Chanel. Her name's not actually Chanel. I guess she was an escort a long time ago. And she started this business. So it's actually in the same building as a Church of Christ.
Wow.
Well, that's good.
That's a good cover-up.
Oh, come all you faithful. Joyful and triumphant.
You better stop. I'm never gonna... Okay. That was so good.
Thank you.
That was so good.
Forever to use that joke.
So it's in like, it's on Welland Ave too. It's literally, here's Pink Pearl at the end of, I don't know if you guys know St. Catharines very well.
Very well.
I live right by there.
Okay, so here's Pink Pearl, which is, it's something automotive, something auto. It's like an auto place. and it's like a yard where they fix up cars. And then there's Pink Pearl in that same building, and then the Church of Christ in the same building. So the automotive guy rents out the building, okay? And then literally directly across, diagonally, is the Book Depot, and right beside it is the 300 Plaza. And they're literally right on the end. But it's not obvious, because I actually convinced them to get an open sign, like, that lights up, because nobody...
There's the one on Bunting that always says spa open as well, and it's always on the side of the
This
road.
one just says open.
Well, that works too.
And then it says Niagara Social Engagements on the front, and we'd answer the phone like it was... What were we supposed to be? We were supposed to be like you'd pay and you'd come in the room and talk to us for a certain amount of time.
But you said that to a certain extent, that people have done that before.
That is true. I usually don't have my clothes on, but that is true.
But that's between two consenting adults.
That's why I'll get to the whole I charge per time, not per act thing in a bit. But so I started working at Pink Pearl, and it was just awful. It's not a good example of, like, it's not professional rub and tug. It's like the carpets are so old and there's like holes in them and burn marks, and like the walls are like chipping and there's like holes in the drywall, and it's what I got super excited there because I'm just so excited to explain how awful this place is. It's like you walk through the front door.
It's still in business, right?
Yes. Okay. She's been open for about 15 years now. It's because she's
successful.
Low maintenance costs.
it's successful because it's cheap.
Yes.
It's street hookers in a building.
Yeah, well,
that's the best way to explain it.
At least when it rains, they don't get wet.
And to be fair, I will say this: I feel for the girls that are at that point in their lives where they have to work on the street. And I've had people tell me there's no difference. You're fucking people for money. Yes, I am, but I'm still not on the street.
I think even just a business model, we're, clearing people's backgrounds online or just going through things like there's so many things you can do that make it more professional than
having
random
a
chance.
Bodyguard, having professional quarters to work out of, not going, hey buddy, $10, I'll suck your dick. Like, there's a difference, I like to think.
$10.
If you want to get herpes.
Yeah, I want to get herpes.
You get herpes for $10. But
it's a bargain.
Well, and the way they charged it was, but at Studio 7B, which is the other place I worked at, they had like a basis, like you have to charge at least this much. With Pink Pearl, you could only charge this much. So she made us charge $120 for the half hour, and she took $60. We were getting $60 full service. So full service means,
I've researched this, means sex.
Yeah, and foreplay as well.
Yeah.
Extras are obviously extra.
I've learned all the letterings.
All inclusive, we call it. All inclusive for $60 fucking dollars.
For a half an hour.
Yep. And then people, like when I was at the other place, they'd usually get like an hour, so we had time to talk or whatever. And then she made us charge, what was it, $160 for the hour, so then we got like $100 for an hour. Like, I can't rationalize that.
How much of this are you fitting in a day at that point? Like,
when I was doing it?
Yeah.
I had to have like a good 10 or 12 clients to be able to make money.
Really? Well, okay, but is that an hour each, or
It was usually a half hour because people are cheap.
Half hour each, okay. So 6 hours, $600. What are the costs on your end associated with it? I know makeup is a big thing if you're going to be using it every day at work.
Well, honestly, I wear the same amount of makeup.
Okay.
At work. I don't really wear makeup, honestly, to be like, if I do lipstick, that's it. I'm pretty comfortable with my face is like a little cute face, but then I have like this outrageously like, it's almost like a comic drawing body, and that's not me having an ego. It's true. I know it's true. Like, I have like this tiny waist and this big ass and big legs and big tits. I don't know where it came from, but I learned to use it, right? But like, the biggest cost was getting there. It was usually because I was living in Waynfleet, so it was
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
If I was doing like Speedy, it was like $50 each way, so that's $100 just to get there. Food, because they'd never let you leave to get food, so you had to order food in.
Why would they be able to hold you back and say that you can't go out?
Because we didn't have a set lunch, so if we missed a client, that's on us. That's costing them money. It's just same bullshit. There wasn't much cost, but...
What about bringing food? Lunch bagging?
Yeah, but girls would steal it.
Oh.
Because most of those girls that were there are seeing clients to go run out and meet their dealer, which I did. Oh yeah, we were talking about me smoking crack. So I was at this place. You guys, it's going to be a hard, I don't know if you realize it's going to be hard to follow along, but
it's riveting.
I'm trying to keep it kind of, in a row here. But so I started there and it was miserable. And this isn't her real name anyway. So Rachel, this girl who's literally been working there, I think, since Chanel opened Pink Pearl. Like, she's probably like 46 or something, 47. And she's a little haggard, but she's still doing it. She's like one of those girls with small boobs, but somehow they droop like super low. Like lower than mine, and I'm an E. I don't know how that's possible. Like hers, they go in like that triangle, like, those
different
kind of
skin elasticities between people, I guess.
Yeah, it's just, it was... Yeah.
Gravity's been a little harsh.
Yeah, on her specifically. But anyways, nice girl was trying smoking crack. So for some reason, I thought that was a grand idea to try it, once. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it once. Yeah, for sure. And the funniest thing is I hated the high. It was so just awful. Like, you just felt like you're like going to crawl. I did meth too, but it wasn't as bad. Like, crack is just like, and you're like, oh, what's going on? Who's over there? And you can't focus. And that's why people get so paranoid. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh my God, someone's outside. And you genuinely think that someone's outside, especially if someone puts that idea in your head.
And then I guess the dopamine crash that followed is probably the biggest issue.
It was so hard to sleep. Like,
yeah.
I was actually dating a complete douchebag at the time, but we were together for like 4.5 years. But the way I was on it for about, I think, 6 months. And I am 175 pounds right now, and I went down to 98 pounds.
Oh, wow.
In 6 months.
Oh.
So, I was doing that. I was doing that. I'd get a client, I'd see them, and I'd get by, and then I'd run out and I'd meet my dealer. And then I'd get a client, I'd get by, I'd meet my dealer, because I never had enough money for a substantial amount, so I was just kidding. But I don't know what, it was all mental addiction. I was not physically addicted to this drug. It was all mental because I hated it.
So what would you say the difference between the two is, and have you ever been physically addicted to anything?
With crack and meth? The difference between those or difference between what?
What's the difference between physical and mental addiction in your mind?
So the weirdest thing is that mental addiction can present itself physically as well. But I mean chemically, physically addicted, like opiates.
Like withdrawals?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Now, methamphetamine, I don't think is physically addictive, but I had withdrawals. Like, I saw things, and I had a lot of auditory hallucinations. But with crack, it's like I got off of it, and I just got off of it. I actually got off of it because the guy I was dating, Brad, he tried it a couple times. And then I watched him, like one day I didn't really do any, and I watched him picking through the carpet, like, I think I found a piece. And I was like, I can't do this to people that I care about. Even though he made the decision, I was influencing that decision by me doing it, So as soon as I saw someone that at least I thought I loved, picking through like carpet, because I'd sit there for hours, like, oh, I think that's like, it was brutal. It was bad. Like, it's bad. With meth, I just stayed in my house and picked at my face. I literally wouldn't leave the house because one time I stayed up for 13 days. And then I crashed, and that's actually how I got off of it, because I fell asleep for 2 days.
Oh, so you skipped some of the withdrawal.
Yeah, and I woke up and I was able to get off of it. But mental is really just, again, you can get like addicted to cheese.
Yeah.
Whatever the example would be. But with physical, and people will argue this, and I will argue it every day. You will get addicted no matter what you do if you're taking opiates every day. Even if it's a small amount, You will grow tolerant, and you will grow addicted. Chemically, scientifically, it's a fact.
I think the only case that I've heard of where it's just a normal occurrence is if you're in the hospital and they have to give you morphine or something like that. Usually people are fine afterwards and they don't...
Depends on how long they're on it for.
That too. If you're in the hospital for like a couple of weeks, I guess it could change things.
The way it works is after 3 days you start to get addicted.
Yeah.
But it depends on how long you're on it because you will withdraw, but you may not notice it. If you've only been on it for a little while, you may have like a headache and maybe a little hot for a day.
Depending on why you were on it, you may just write it off as... I'm in the hospital.
I'm sick, right? Like, opiates were created for... Okay, I don't... You know what? I think they were created knowing they were awful, but regardless. They're supposed to be for, like, serious injuries and illnesses and cancer and open heart surgeries and even dental stuff is great, but for, like, 2-3 days, not months. Like, this is how people get addicted. This is how I got addicted. And then I just suddenly... Once I got addicted to opiates, I was just, like, suddenly okay with doing all these other drugs. Like, it was definitely a gateway. I never thought about doing drugs before I was prescribed opiates, no.
Well, okay. I mean, people usually say marijuana is the gateway drug.
I would agree with that, but that's for me personally.
What experience do you have with that? Like, did you smoke weed as a teenager? Yeah.
Once in a while.
And I don't know, just a passive thing?
Yeah. It was fun sometimes. You know, if I had the time, if I had, like, the ability, if I wasn't busy, if I wasn't doing anything the next day. Like, I was big about, like... Even though I'd be fine, realistically, but... A lot
of people, even that I work with, will say if they... Because some of them do smoke weed. If they do it, like, on a work night or something, they feel off the whole next day, which is interesting. Because I've also heard a lot of people say it's so much more mild than everything else, but at the same time, people... It affects you.
Again, I'm going to say this now, is it depends on you. So, a lot of the drugs that I did, I was trying to escape from... you know, awful things that happened to me when I was younger. You know, I've had a shitty time. So I think that, well, and people really like to monsterize addicts. Like, they like to, well, it's your choice and, you know, just get off of it. And it's not that simple sometimes. Like, it's most of the people that are doing this are trying to escape. And yes, you are the only person that can get yourself off of. Nobody can... You can't help people that can't help themselves. So I understand when the people that cared about me, like, my family still stuck with me, even though, like, when I was smoking crack, it was obviously extremely obvious. Like, I look at photos of me and I was literally a skeleton. Like, it was disgusting. But, you know, like my best friend Bill. Hi, Bill. Hi, Bill. He was really there for me, and he knew that I was doing it, and, you know, he'd say, you know, you gotta stop doing this, and you're getting really thin. I literally did not see it. I physically did not see that I was losing weight. Like, 80 pounds. I did not see it.
Why do you think that is, exactly?
Because the other thing was, I wasn't doing it 24/7. Like, I was doing it every day. But it was usually just when I went to work. And I think it's because I was having a hard time dealing with the whole escorting thing, because no matter the fact that I don't regret it, it still fucked me up mentally, for sure. Like, it definitely had an effect on my mental state. Because you gotta think, right, you're sleeping with people for money, how do you rationalize that? Right? Like, you're selling your body for money, but... I still don't really see it as that, but subconsciously, obviously, I'm going to think that because that's what society's telling me, and that's what, you know, everybody's telling me. So you're subconsciously you're gonna think that. But when I got off of when I stopped smoking crack, it wasn't hard at all. I just was like, this is stupid. I hate the high. I'm spending hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of dollars on it. Like, I could have had savings, and like within those 6 months, I probably spent a good $8,000, if not more.
That's incredible.
And that's not even that much compared to...
Did you have to go into debt to do that, or were you able to keep up with it with the work?
I didn't buy it if I didn't have money.
Okay.
I've never had it...
Find a way to get money.
I found a way to get money, you know. But I made sure never to get, like, a credit card or anything, because as an addict, I don't think I'd trust... Like, now I would. I'm sober now. But back then, I wouldn't trust myself with a credit card. I'd be pulling, like, thousands out, and, like, they're gone, right? But yeah, so I started and stopped that when I was at Pink Pearl. And then I had the whole fight for a couple years where I was going back and forth from Pink Pearl to Studio 7B. Because when I went to Studio 7B, which is right diagonally across the street, it was better. Like, it was more classy. It was, we did the minimum I think it was $160 for the half hour and then $220 for the hour. That's minimum. I usually charged a little bit more. It depended on what it was, right?
And then tips, right?
And people don't tip.
They don't tip, no.
Oh.
Maybe that'll improve too if it was more of a legal upfront operation, you know.
I think the internet has ruined it.
Yeah?
Speaking of the internet, I do want to cover this because we have a funny way of talking to people as big thing, tend to happen. And we lucked out. We're talking to somebody who has experience with it. And while we were actually in Florida, again, having done the research, a big website that she has dropped already called Backpage got seized by the government, making it incredibly harder because it's no longer functioning.
Yeah.
So now there's, I don't know what's left out there, but now there's not that big entity that was a good filter.
See, I don't know how people are going to do it now, because I don't really do it like I said now. You know, like all I have are my two regulars. But like, how the fuck are these girls going to get clients? Like, unless these clients already have her number, or if they're going, maybe the rub and tugs got more popular, but the rub and tugs also depended on Backpage.
Full disclosure, I'm just going to try. I'm just going to Google escorts Niagara. Melissa,
when you're going through his phone later.
Yeah.
I'm witness.
I know that people were using Craigslist for a long time for listings.
And Craigslist is still around.
But they keep up with it now, so that you can't make postings like that as much.
Craigslist was so ghetto. Like, the clients you'd get from Craigslist are the clients that are going to kill you. You know, like, they are shitty clients.
Escort
And honestly, I think Backpage, it's gonna come back up in another version. It has to. Well, it made so much money. Those ads to post were fucking expensive. Like,
you had to pay by Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I didn't used to have to. We used to just use our debit or Visa. Now we have to go to this stupid machine. Or the way you had to buy Bitcoin for us, you had to go to this whatever the hell the company was called. You had to find people that were selling it. It was like whatever on the dollar. It was usually like 70 cents on the dollar, which was a lot. And that was that was cheap.
Oh, so you Google Niagara Escort.
That's Diamonds, though. Diamonds is their own agency.
But, right off the bat, I found Diamonds. There's Niagara.5escorts.com.
Those are places that reshare Backpage ads.
So I bet you they've taken a hit, too.
Oh, they have. Like, the thing is, I can't get a lot of my ads down because I wanted to take them down, and I can't because these fucking websites have shared my ads, which I don't know if maybe they were trying to help, but...
Posted a month ago, so none of them are current because
holy
of Backpage.
Shit.
Yeah, it's all dead.
It's a big ass.
That was.
Now, the only thing I could think that's comparable, and it's a different industry, was the old Silk Road website for if you want to purchase drugs or anything else illegal. And when that got shut down, so far as I know, there's still nothing of a comparable scale that exists anymore. And it's been a long time since Silk Road was shut down.
Something has to come up. It's too big of an industry that depends on ads. With drugs, you can walk around word of mouth. You know?
Yeah, I suppose it's easier to get.
With escorts, nobody goes around, hey, do you know anywhere I could find good pussy? She has to be blonde, big tits. You're like, oh yeah, buddy, I know this girl right down the street. No, like, it really depends on advertisement. It's got to be the rub and tugs that are doing it all now.
What about List Crawler?
I don't know.
It exists. The posts are current. There is a 28-year-old who says she's naughty, sexy, and ready to play tonight.
What does it say? I want to see it.
5'3", 120 pounds.
Blonde hair, hazel eyes, 100 half hour. That's cheap. In call. $120 for the half hour. Out call $8 for a quickie. Ew. She's gross.
Is there a lot of infighting, I guess, between girls that just have really low opinions of each other?
I'm going to guess and say that that's probably her, but the first picture that she has is probably
it might be.
not.
It might be. Hold on. Photography could...
And, really, buy a professional photographer for your modeling shoots.
Yeah. She has
you can look fantastic.
Nice toned stomach. Her hair's garbage.
Welcome to Review an Escort.
We should make a segment. Review an Escort today. Today on Review an Escort, we're doing blondes with small tits. Like
Don't not to be confused with blondes with big tits.
Blondes with
it
no
could be
tits.
her. I think she's more toned than that. I don't think she's that thin. Her stomach looks quite toned. I don't know why she'd want to use another picture unless that could be her. I have pictures of me that people don't believe are me. So.
Zoomgirls.net.
Sorry to spare you on the images. I mean, we usually try to link images of things, but I think we're going to pass this time.
I'll link them below.
It's
In
nice.
the comment section.
You look up...
If you're ever looking up Niagara escorts,
Yeah. max80.com.niagara.listcrawler.com.
Yeah, just
Holy hell.
write that all down. What were you asking before and I cut you off? I can't remember what you were saying.
I don't know
Hitting
either.
all these tabs.
I have a very short-term memory for that.
I've
When this
short-term
podcast
memory.
is done, I will have no idea what we talked about.
Me
No.
either. I have short-term memory loss, so I understand.
I remember.
I'll get to edit it, so I'll get to hear it again.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
until then,
I just like, it's just such... you were asking if there's a lot of fighting.
oh yeah, I can see there being a lot of internal disputes.
Holy shit. It is, again, like I said, 99% drug addict, gross, skeezy.
So I'm thinking like high school girl drama, but multiplied by drugs and money.
I had someone that tried to poison me with rubbing alcohol.
Oh my.
So this girl didn't like me, and I didn't realize that she was psycho, and she gave me like a drink of vodka because it was Friday, right? She's like, "Do you want a drink?" And I drink straight, so I of course took the whole thing. It was like a half of a what would you call it? Those like a Julian glass from Trailer Park Boys, like probably at least half full. So I chugged it because I'm like, that's all the alcohol I have. It's Friday, and it was rubbing alcohol.
You figured that out right away? Yeah.
Oh, it went down, and I went, and I was like, I didn't know it was wrong. I thought it was the strongest vodka I'd ever had, but then I can't make myself throw up. When I was in high school, I had, bad body image issues, so I wanted to be bulimic for a day, and I couldn't, because I couldn't make myself vomit. So here I am, and a client had just picked me, right? So I just taken this, because I'm like, it's Friday. The client was in the room. I'm screaming at the top of the lungs for the owner, Helen, to come help me, because I'm like, there's something wrong. Like, I just drank this, and there's something very wrong. Like, it felt like my stomach was on fire. So I'm sitting there trying to make myself vomit, and I couldn't. So Helen shoved a fucking toothbrush down my throat. And it hurt more coming up than it did going down, I'll tell you that.
A little bit less than acetone in your blood, though.
Oh my god! And I'm bawling my eyes out because I cry when I throw up. I think a lot of people do that. But and this poor client comes out of the room like, "What's going on?" He's all freaked out because like,
Probably sounded.
if you hear screaming in a rub and tug,
That's not good.
even though it's relatively professional, it's you're probably gonna be like, "Whoa, we're gonna get out of here."
Yeah.
And I was okay, but this girl swears up and down that, it wasn't even mine. And I'm like, okay, but you said it was yours, and would I like a drink? Like, you literally said that word for word. And, yes, that was fucking terrifying. But see, those places are known for, like, I actually had a client rape me a couple years ago. And, it's long story short, I'm over it now, but I think it's interesting to talk about because
like where
you guys are kind of stunned. But
where did it start? When was the defining moment?
Was it an ongoing relationship?
No, just once. Okay. So this was when I was at Pink Pearl, and they call him Mr. Clean. He's like this really tall guy, super bald, very aggressive, like just naturally very uncomfortably aggressive.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of talking about how little these people usually care about the people that are working for them, right? So it was just the one lady that owned this spa, like Pink Pearl. It's just her. She has no husband or anything, as far as I know. And this guy, none of the girls showed up, but I was there from day shift, and I do like 14-hour shifts. Like lots of girls would do doubles, which are 14 hours straight.
Sounds brutal.
Yeah, it is. And nobody came in for night shift, so I'm like, I want to go home. And she's like, no, I got the cameras. And then she said she'd fire me if I didn't stay. So long story short, not to go through the gruesome details, but he wanted anal, and I said no. So he hit me over the back of the head, and then he did it anyways. He threw money at me when he was done. So Chanel considered that not rape because he paid me. That's what she told me.
That's a very weird standard to approach. I don't think money...
No.
No, it doesn't help.
No, still rape. I don't care what anybody says, but...
Especially the violent part of the beginning of it that you had not consented to. The hitting in the back of the head.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But it just kind of shows how little that place cares about the people that work for them. Because she's like, well, he paid you and escorts can't be raped. What? I was just so shocked. But then where the story is leading to is when I worked at Studio 7B, I saw him. He came in the door and he picked me. This was like 2 years later. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I walk in the room and I'm like, can I fucking help you? Like, I was furious. I'm like, why? Why are you... I thought he was like here to apologize or something, or I was drunk, or... He's like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, do you even know who I am? He's like, no, I've never met you before. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
He's probably done that
many times. Right? So therefore, I got angry. He picked another girl, and I begged her not to go in there with him, because I'm like, he's gonna hurt you, he's gonna hurt you, he's gonna hurt you. Now, I am a submissive, like, definition of submissive, you know, punch me in the face, break my jaw, I'm fine with it as long as I'm consenting.
Sure.
Okay? I'm okay with being hurt.
I'll write that down.
But I didn't consent to him. So this girl, of course, came running out. He'd actually broken her wrist. And I guess he didn't get to the point where because there's, I don't know if they're going to watch us. I don't care. I don't like them anyways. Except for Jamie. I love you, Jamie, the owner's husband. Amazing guy. He heard whatever was happening, like, because the walls are very thin, so you could hear everybody fucking everybody in all the other rooms.
It's just a clusterfuck.
It is. And Jamie came fucking kicked in the door. He's like fucking good 6'7", big biker guy, nicest, sweetest, cuddliest giant teddy bear ever, but like he picked him up by his collar and threw him out the door. Because they are a legal business, so he doesn't want to. Of course, he probably obviously wanted to do something else to him, but it was just like, when on the topic of fighting too, like the girls just didn't care, just like the owners most of the time didn't actually care about the clients. There's lots of people that are good at acting like it, you know, but they just, I don't know if it's their way of rationalizing it, like they're not human, and you know, they're almost subhuman, and, you know, they're not worth caring about. But I cared about everybody that I've ever seen. Like I had regulars that, you know, how's the kids, and you know, like it's just,
even in like just the regular life of everybody doing their normal minimum wage jobs, the companies at least want you to have the illusion. Everybody's got to agree to the illusion that we care about the customers and we care about this and that, and then, you know, your safety matters and all this stuff. So I guess, it doesn't have to exist in that world necessarily.
No, but I actually care about the customers. Like, I work in Avondale right now, and most of them don't give a shit, but I actually do still, you know, so I don't know if that's just me, but most of the fights I've gotten in were over my clients and people making fun of them. Like, I had a South African gentleman, I cannot remember his name, because this was years ago, but he was, you know, quite a bit older, and he couldn't, there was a language barrier there. So he had left my room. He used to come to see me, and he'd write me these songs, like these love songs. He was super sweet, super sweet guy. I loved seeing him. And he had walked out, and he walked into the bathroom where one of the girls with Paper only had one shower and one bathroom for everybody. At Studio 7B, we had a bathroom in each room, which makes sense.
It does.
This girl had left the door wide open, and this poor guy was walking in the bathroom, and she starts screaming, "Get the fuck out, you fucking pervert, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, you left the door open, and you're in a business. When I shower, I'll lock the door, or I don't care when people walk in. It's going to happen. And he was so freaked out. Like, she was, like, running after him, like, screaming at him, and I'm like, don't talk to my client like that. Like, what's wrong with you?
It's an interesting relationship, because a lot of clients might think, that the women that they're seeing are less than human or whatever, but it goes the other way too, where the clients are these lowlifes now, which
I think actually happens more
Yeah.
than the clients thinking about the girls. I think.
Almost because it's probably a bit of a group mentality where, like, you can disassociate yourself from the clients. Whereas clients are they're individual basis. They're going to try to approach things more individualistically, I think.
Yeah, I guess because they're just seeing you, right? You're seeing a bunch of people, a bunch of different people,
that you can put into categories.
Yeah, and for people to be able to, I guess, deal with it. I guess because you do. Everybody, no matter who you are, you still have to deal with it because there's hard things about it, you know, and it's dangerous. It's always dangerous. No matter what you do, it is dangerous. It's either STDs or someone could become violent. You know, I've had people that were too drunk.
On the topic of danger,
yeah.
I mean, working in a massage parlor, rub and tug, or whatever. There's even a existence of a fake boss at the very least. But legal ramifications for something like that, like if you get robbed, you can't. Like, what do you do? You're
no, actually, no. We've had, for being robbed specifically, I think so. I think you're kind of fucked there. But we have had people that have gotten in fights. We've had a lot of husbands coming in and finding their wives working. Beating up the client, even though the client had no fucking idea. I'm sorry. If I was married, which I'm not, I certainly wouldn't tell my clients. Just like my clients that are married usually don't tell you that they're married, right? We actually had 2 women bust in and fucking rip their husband out of the room.
Wow.
But we've had the police have to come. Now, they did try to, like, can I see your ID? I'm like, for what? What do you need my ID for? They're like, well, can we see it? I'm like, no. Why do you need my ID? Is there a legal reason? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, sorry. I'm not giving you my ID. That's not happening. But the thing is that, honestly, the police know.
I would hope
the police know where every rub and tug is. They don't care. They're being paid.
Who do you think's paying?
The owners of the spas are paying them. The government knows.
That's a big conspiracy.
It's not, though. I've literally heard owners talking to policemen and paying them to keep quiet, or paying them to keep them safe. Keeping, like, homeless people and drug addicts out of the back alley, because, like, the 300 Welland Ave was like it's a plaza, right? So there's a big alley behind it, and there were people that like to go, smoke crack back there and stuff like that. So the police know. It's simple as that. I don't know if all the police know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
certain.
It might just be certain officers. Because I was thinking, like, at the level of the police station itself.
Brothels are legal now, though.
I know
to a certain extent. Yeah.
There's certain restrictions. It's a bit weird in Ontario. Still.
Yeah, I was there when we won when I was like still doing it, right, a couple of years ago. We won. Oh, we can have a brothel, and we don't really have to worry about it as much. So, they protect it like any other business, right? Like it's.
There's the tax. I mean, if you're running it like a business, then you are a tax-paying business.
Yes,
even though it's a cash business, I'm assuming you're paying some sort of tax. So you are contributing to the local economy.
Yeah, they pay tax. They pay their taxes just like normal people. They rent the building just like normal people.
Now, they pay their taxes just like normal people, but when you go, I'm assuming you're not saying it's $180 an hour plus tax. Taxes worked into the price.
Yes, it is. Because I don't know where they would scan it between my tits. Just right here, sir. Just type in your PIN.
You could get a tattoo of a barcode. You get like, oh, this one on the shoulder, not this one.
You would think that with modern technology and modern payment methods being so easy access,
use a square.
Use a square because you can name that. You can name your company or the square kind of whatever you want. So it could be 69 grocers and. Your wife might think, Jesus, he buys a lot of fucking groceries, but you'd be able to do it that way. So we're in a good time where escorts can very easily.
That would stop people from going, oh, I didn't take enough money out.
It's okay.
It's like, well, go ahead, put it right in the machine.
Visa, MasterCard, cash, check, debit, credit, unborn child, whatever works.
I'm not Rumpelstiltskin.
But no, it's. I think that's an avenue that people should take.
I don't know.
I
don't know if people would want to be their spending tracked, even though you can name it whatever you want. There are people that would not even write me reviews because they were worried that it'd be tracked back to them. Even
they're still tracking technically. Like if I took money out at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, yeah.
I'm just
saying that you could make up some. I took money out and was I don't know. You can do something, but like my point is that people aren't rational with it. Like again, I don't have very many reviews online, even though I'm never planning on getting back into it. Like actually, again, like I just have my regulars or whatever.
You have a web. Not that we're going to promote it, but do you have like an aggregate of reviews that you?
There's only a couple I can access because some of them are through Golden Triangle Review Board, and I can't get on it because I have to make an account, and they won't accept my request for some reason. So the only ones I've ever seen were friends who don't start doing that.
Yeah, sorry.
We're friends that have an account. Well, the reason why I'm denied is because I went to go make one at one of my clients' houses, an account. And I guess he already had an account. So when I tried to make the account, he tried to post a review for me, sorry. So I already had an account. He tried to post a review from his account on the same computer. They fucking posted where he had put the review. They took it down and said this came from the same IP address as Vivian.
Like multiple accounts. Yeah, okay.
So that shows people think that I wrote the fucking review. So that screwed me over for quite a while. So people thinking that I wrote my own review, right? Which is really bad.
Yes.
Like if someone did that, that's really bad. I have one review that I don't like that says it said that he had a good time, but that I am a big-bodied woman more so than in my photos, which I don't agree with. I think I look exactly the same as in my photos. So I had a lot of people asking me, like, was I bigger than I was in my photos? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, why does this? A lot of people depend on reviews, but most people won't write reviews because they think that their wife's going to track it or whatever.
It's probably like any review where the good reviews don't get posted because they just enjoy the whatever they had, and then the bad
they
reviews
just enjoyed it, right?
The bad reviews show up because someone has an opinion.
Yeah, that's the biggest bad review I had though, was just that I'm bigger than I looked in my photos, but I'm not.
How bad can an orgasm be?
How bad? Yeah, you're right.
Right?
I guess.
I mean, still at the end of the day.
I'm sure there's lots of clients that obviously don't finish it. They have some other thing they're getting off on, but
yeah, it's true.
Going back to the pricing topic, it's an interesting thing, and this is with respect to male and female escorts, but there's no, like, is there a board that sets the price of sex?
It sounds to me like it's just pure capitalism. It's, how much is someone willing to pay for this act, and am I okay with that?
I remember watching a documentary on Netflix about escorts in Vegas, and there's this...
are they all the really sad documentaries?
Well, it's a lot of sad
all the documentaries this year are so sad.
But the documentary, pimp's driving around, and he's talking about it like it's just he's selling fish at a market.
Yep.
He says... after the recession, the price of pussy went down. Like, it definitely went down. And you used to be able to get, like, now you have people doing, like, $60, stuff like that. It's really just driving it down. So, like, at one point, I think there was a pussy NASDAQ. And
a blue book?
Yeah.
It's
something.
I think it's based on the area and the class system. What kind of people live in the area, and what do they make a year? It's like bars, same thing. You're looking at what kind of people do we have around here, and they always just tried to have one curvy girl. Like, I'm always the curvy girl, but then they had a couple, and I guess we all blend together, but I don't think so, because I'm the only one with actual curves. Like, all these other girls were just overweight, which is fine.
There's a market.
I think there's a difference than overweight and curvy.
I think lots of men will uphold that argument and say that, yes, there's an absolute difference.
There's a difference. Yes. I have a small stomach. That means I'm not overweight. Unless I had, like, elephantitis of my legs or something, that's obviously different. But But it's if you have more than one curvy girl, I guess they just blend together. Everybody wants these tiny little girls, and I think it's all because it makes them feel dominant and more masculine.
Being able to, I mean, I've had smaller sexual partners, and
you're relatively small yourself too, so that's probably
Well, I'm almost 6 feet.
Yeah,
but I mean, Oh yeah, I'm quite skinny. I'm not overweight or anything, but it's it is.
I didn't mean that as an insult.
It is an interesting dynamic being able to move somebody around and do things you otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, like most people can't pick me up. Like that's not, or at least not comfortably.
No.
You know, I'm going, this is super easy, and I can just throw you around. It's like most people I can throw around. But that's hard when I'm a sub too, right? So like I'm a submissive, and sometimes, and I seem to be more attracted to like, I don't like over the top, ridiculously steroided out muscles. Like I like someone that's like toned, but I seem to really go for the smaller guys too, like just small, not like short, but like just smaller build. For some reason, I've always been, even though I'm a sub, so you'd think.
You want somebody that
I'd go tougher. For someone that's, but see, I don't think that toughness and aggression is size.
As far as sex goes, it really is getting into an act. It's very different.
I've been more fucked up in the bedroom by small guys than I have big guys. For the most part, because usually the big guys seem to be like, "Ooh, I don't want to hurt you," and the little guys are like, "I gotta do my best," and then they, but then the big guys are like that, and I'm like, "Absolutely not! Like, you need to like wind back like as hard as you can." Like, I can't. I'm like, "Yes, you can," and they don't because they just don't listen to me. They think I don't know. I know my body. People out there that are watching this, I'm aware of what I can take.
It catches you off guard, I guess, as a male, just because going around, a lot of women they want a very gentle experience, and that I've had women that like literally slap me in the face right now, decently hard, and it's like, oh, okay, and it takes some warming up to.
Oh well, for sure, I totally agree. Like it's not something that's like average or something that's normal by any definition of the word, but it's. I just have to like sit there and convince these guys like just hit me please. Like just throw me against that wall or
I guess if that's already their kink and that's the thing that they're into, they're gonna know what to do.
It's hard for me to find people that like that. I can't be like, hi, nice to meet you. Are you into BDSM?
It's probably the most generalized characteristic in the kink community. Like
I think 50 Shades of Grey kind of ruined it though.
Yeah,
because I know
Hollywood.
Maybe they have a false perception of it now.
First of all, people watching 50 Shades of Grey is like, that's not even rough sex. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, he had all the tools. He didn't fucking use them. I didn't see him use any of those awesome whips and chains and hooks. All he did was use a paddle at the end, and she cried, and she left. That's sorry.
Spoiler alert.
I haven't been able to sit through that movie. So
it's about this masochistic, abusive male that has no interest in like this is. I am into BDSM in the bedroom, not. I think it's abuse in everyday life.
I do know that character tries to run her life, basically.
There are some people that live sexual kinks as normal thing, and that's fine. Like, if it's like, if the person consents, okay. However, most of the time, if you are like excruciatingly dominant in day-to-day life, that's you're abusing your partner. There's a difference. Like, I'm actually very dominant, extremely dominant personality-wise. So I think that's why I'm a submissive while having sex, because I think it's a total, it's almost a release, right? Because I have to be so dominant all the time. And I don't know, I guess I can be intimidating that I like to be a submissive, but Hollywood BDSM is not BDSM. So I have so many friends that are like, oh yeah, I like BDSM. I'm like, oh, cool. What do you like? They're like, oh, like handcuffs. I'm like real handcuffs that are like cutting into your wrist, or like fluffy handcuffs. They're like fluffy handcuffs. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, oh, you like being hit? They're like, yeah, they can smack me decently hard. I'm like, anything else? They're like, no. I'm like, hey, that's just sex. That's not BDSM.
I want to pull a side note. Where do people get good handcuffs?
Oh God, it's hard.
I've never found a pair that didn't just break the first time they were being used.
I have a great pair. Well, I have an actual pair of handcuffs.
Like a nickel-plated. Set of handcuffs, yeah.
My brother is really good at getting things. He can.
They're actual
like they fall off a truck,
out of a police car.
He can get. Although he didn't get me those. I had a friend who did, but my brother can get a lot of things. But you got to order them online usually.
Yeah.
Because most of them break. But that's like, it's really hard to find things for actual BDSM. You can't go to like the Love Shop and stuff. Like they have this 50 Shades of Grey line out right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a whip. I was standing in the middle of Spencer's, picture it, whipping my ass with this whip in front of like kids and stuff because I'm testing and I want to know if it hurts. I don't think that's strange. I want to test the whip.
I mean,
right?
It's there, yeah. Just hanging on the shelf.
The guy that was helping me out is like super flamboyant and was just laughing his ass off. He's like, "Well, I could do it for you if it's easier." So then he starts to because I just wanted to know. First of all, it broke.
Yeah.
He hit me not even that hard, and it just snapped. Wow. And he's like,
Quality
"It's okay.
control.
It's a piece of crap." So he's like, "It's not you were going to use it anyways." And he's like, "You would have brought it back." I wanted to get a gag ball, and they have this gag ball that is literally picture like those little
Like ping pong?
No, like those mini putt golf balls with the holes in them.
Oh.
The plastic ones, hard plastic.
Yeah.
Probably because
I'm going to be biting down on this, and you want me to break a tooth? Like, why is it not rubber? Why is it plastic? I don't understand.
I don't know.
It's because these people aren't actually using them. They're putting them in their mouth and going, and just holding this gag ball in their mouth. The whole point of a gag ball is you're supposed to be biting on it. That's the whole point, right? Pain, that's the whole point.
Now, on that, maybe it's good and it's bad because you're introducing. It's like you're introducing people kind of like BDSM light, and people who like it might try to go further.
Yeah.
But a lot might just be turned off by like, this isn't good.
But then it wasn't going to be for them anyway.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't mind furry handcuffs.
I don't mind them either.
I don't have. I've had handcuffs before that I've broke. Mm-hmm. Because they're not strong enough.
Yeah.
But with the furry ones, if there's pink fur, I'm not gonna restrain.
You're gonna get so turned on. Yeah, pink
I'm gonna
fur.
break it. So no, that's not me.
But I'm just talking about how shitty quality this shit is. Don't buy it. Get I got a pair of gag handcuffs that say "Don't stop" on them, and they're material, but they hold like pretty well. So for someone who's not looking to actually do BDSM but wants like rough sex or bondage or something, just tie your arms here or something. Get
Your good old Canadian Tire has rope for a decent price.
Yeah, that's where I get most of my rope. Actually, I was a Girl Scout, so I can tie knots pretty well. Actually,
I was a Boy Scout, so I can tie knots too.
Just with other Boy Scouts.
No.
I like suspended bondage, so like you got to be able to actually. I usually tie most of the knots myself. I don't trust most people to set up the suspended bondage.
That's a big trust.
Yeah.
Because of the carpentry, I'm actually looking to build like a. It'll almost look like how do I explain it? I want to get like a wooden beam that can support like an incredible amount of weight.
Okay.
And I want to put all sorts of weight-bearing hooks in it.
We can use carpentry terms. I do framing, which is like the rough part of carpentry.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know if you. Okay, but anyway, so I have like a bunch of like sex swings, and I want things to tie these ropes to. My handcuffs are strong enough to actually lift me off the ground with them hooked on something. Which is pretty cool. It destroys. I actually broke my wrist.
It sounds like almost you want to build a beam into your house so it like sits on the exterior wall and something else.
Yeah, I need a weight supporting beam and
you gotta pick a big doorway or something, I guess.
Yeah, I was thinking almost my room, but I think I'm trying to make it somewhere where it's not like everybody would walk in and be like,
What's that used for? Yeah.
What are you doing with
Sometimes
that?
I turn on my air conditioner and hang meat in my living room. It's just a big meat storage plant. I swear. That's where all the leather's from, too.
I don't know. And then I think that escorting has definitely affected me dating-wise.
That's an interesting
and
dynamic,
day-to-day-wise. Keep the dating-wise, but your confidence is through you're the first model that I've ever taken any photos of completely naked, and you're like just.
I love it.
It's gone. Like, okay, let's start.
Yeah. I'll sit there and eat naked. Like, I've done shoots where I'm just chilling there naked, just talking to people, like, legs wide open, like, what's up?
I think it's a personality type a little bit, too. Like, the closest I've got to that is going to the doctor, and they're like, okay, we need you to disrupt, like, we have this special gown.
Yeah.
Like, no, just do it. I don't care.
It's the human body, though I do have a lot of confidence with my body. I'm not very confident with my face for some reason, but with my body, I really am. So, it affected me there in a good way, for sure. It's a lot of positive. People are paying me to have sex with them. It can be detrimental, in a bad way. What are you looking at?
Just follow the cameras, make sure everything's still running.
It can be bad, but it can also be, it helped me with my confidence a lot. But see, well, I have bipolar, and I also have mild dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multiple personality disorder, but they changed it, so I always have to explain it when I say DID. But I just have a hard time dating because, like, I'm almost like it's like I'll like someone, and then I'll slowly pick them apart as time goes on, subconsciously, not doing it on purpose.
Okay.
And then I will, like, not be attracted to them anymore. And
how long does that process take?
It depends on the person. Like, now I understand that personality can have obviously can have some influence on it, but I'm just talking about people that are great people that I get along with, and I'll be like so attracted to them in the beginning, and then it fades and fades. And like, I'm the most comfortable in a sexually open relationship. Like, I want to find someone that I can fall in love with who's okay with both of us sleeping with other people, which is almost impossible.
Again, niche situation.
Yeah, like being poly is... Now, I couldn't do the polyamory thing, which is the normal... Because I technically fit into polyamorous because I want an open relationship, but I can't do the whole dating more than one person thing.
So sex with people, but not dating...
Yeah, not romantic.
Okay.
Just having sex with other people, and him or her has sex with other people, and that's it. I've found some people like that, but all of them were pretending to be like that because they liked me. So that obviously makes them eventually resent me.
Yeah,
right?
They're gonna not be able to make it work.
Because I'm figuring that they're doing it too, right? But they're not. So I'm trying to find someone who would actually actively do it, because I get bored. It's straight up as that. And there's no reason for me to get bored. Like, most of these people that I like are good people, and there's nothing wrong with them, but I just get bored. So if I'm in a relationship where I can have this, because I want to fall in love with someone, and I want to be with one person, but I just get so sexually bored so fast. I don't know why. I don't know if that's because of escorting.
I was just about to ask, do you think it's always been like that, or because you've been so used to having...
I was a little bit of a whore in high school.
She's honest. That's important.
Well, the guy that I lost my virginity to, I've been in love with ever since I lost my virginity to him, but he's not we had a whole thing where we'll still see each other once in a while. Best connection I've ever had. It's just, he's just very straight and narrow. Not really, like, he'll go drinking and stuff, but he's not okay with the escorting thing. And, it's just all that stuff. But I actually, before I lost my virginity, I was telling you that I lost my anal virginity first.
It was quite an interesting car ride here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a preview. I got excited for this interview beforehand.
And I hate anal. But I loved anal before I lost my virginity. Loved it.
Like the idea of it?
It itself. Like, everything about it.
So how long was this before you lost your virginity?
2 or 3 months. Well, I was lying to him, and I was saying I had Before I lost my virginity, I was really embarrassed about still being a virgin. I think I was like 16 or 15. That's not that young, but all my other friends were not virgins. And I kept telling him that I had like a, what did I say? I said I had like a bladder infection, which is not an attractive thing to say, but I just kept saying it because he kept trying to go in and it was too tight because it was painful. And I just kept saying, well, so he said, well, would you be open to anal? And he's like 8.5, 9 inches. And I was like, sure. I cannot remember how painful it was. You'd think I would remember it if it was bad. But maybe I blanked it out. But the rest of the times it was great. Like, we were fucking like rabbits, just anal. Fine. Nothing wrong with it. Now, so painful. Can't do it. Like, not even... Like, I don't mind, like, rimming and stuff, but, like, even a finger, I just... It's also because I'm kind of a little bit OCD, so it kind of grosses me out.
Yeah.
Like, that there's, you know, a chance.
There's some people with very high functioning levels of autism and stuff that I know that it's just, they've talked about, like, nope, that is not even approachable. Yeah, not even anything. It's
just like, it just freaks me out that something could happen, you know, and the way the digestive tract works, you know. You'd never actually know if there was a if you know what I mean, like, it's just gross. It's never happened to me, but
we're on a very good topic. Like, you brought it up, so I have to mention, and of the people who I said we were doing this, a lot of them had expectations, so I do have to ask one thing. You mentioned the 8.5 to 9 inches. What's your range? What's your spectrum? Biggest to smallest?
What I've had.
Yeah. And whoever asked this, you know. I have asked it for you.
Hi. I don't know who you are, but hi.
That is the benefit of live streams. You can take questions, but
it's true.
Maybe one day.
We'll get there.
They're not anonymous questions.
I'm more than happy to come on again, so, like, that'd be cool. You know, if it was a recurring thing, we could always make a segment. Ask the escort questions.
Not bad.
I like it. So, on that topic.
So, the smallest I've ever had was literally just a head. Like, there was no shaft. There was nothing.
Huh.
Like, literally. I'm not being melodramatic. It was literally, there was no shaft.
The definition of micropenis, I guess?
Yeah.
Were they a fatter person?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I've always wondered, like, if someone is obese...
Do you want me to answer this? I think I know where you're going.
If someone is obese, does it make them smaller as they gain weight? Like, does it, like, suck in? Like,
I look bigger when I'm laying on my back. I was going to say I look better. It came out bigger. Shit. That's the truth. When I'm not on my... Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah?
Now yeah.
So I guess it just gets pulled behind everything.
Or something?
No, it's just...
I don't think you're that big.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm working.
I'm talking about, like... But as you gain weight...
I mean, the pelvic area... There's a fat deposit, and I'm assuming the fatter you get, the more it builds up.
Yeah, because, like... he was just... So, and then he wanted to have sex with me, and I'm like...
How?
And I was, like, trying to suck him off, and it's like... That was my face.
There's a...
Because this just, like, it's all, like, fat, and I'm like... I'm not going to... demonstrate. There's nothing. There was nothing. There's nothing to do with it. Biggest? 11.5.
Oh.
Maybe 12.
I think that's about as big as...
It was brutal.
As you can get before you're breaking records?
Yeah.
He wasn't all the way in me. There's no way.
No.
There's no way he could go all the way in. There's no way. It was just cervix. I'm like, ow, ow, ow.
That's a thing I haven't asked a lot of women personally, but I do get the feeling that a lot of women vary in depth.
They do. Of course they do.
It is like... I don't know. I'm not huge by any measures, but I've bottomed out a few women.
What size are you?
I'm not... Okay. I'm perfectly average, so I guess about...
No. Tell me what you think average is, because everybody's always wrong about this.
I looked up statistics, so maybe I'm insecure about it, but probably anywhere between 5.5 and 6 on a good day.
You're bigger than average. Average is more like 5, so...
You think so?
Yes, I know so.
I think I was looking at like Canadian averages, but...
Yeah, I'm talking about... Regardless, it's... Also,
plausible deniability, I haven't measured in years.
Yeah.
I did it when I was in high school.
Yeah, I never did. As I said,
I don't think
previous episodes, I haven't done it since like 3 years.
If you haven't measured since high school, you're probably at least a half an inch bigger, I'm going to tell you.
Okay, maybe after this podcast, I'm going to go measure my dick.
Good, tell me.
Follow up.
Hey, you guys have to be comfortable with me asking shit
So,
too.
true.
No, it's true. It's fair. So, do women have that problem? Like, some in the industry are just really shallow or something? And
Yes.
I see that getting in the way.
Yeah, it's like, it's all where your cervix is, I guess. And, I will try to explain it to some of the men that are going to be watching this that don't seem to understand. You cannot get looser from getting fucked. You have to explain this to everybody. Women that you feel that are loose, it's not because they have a lot of sex. That is a huge fucking myth. That is not in any way true. And it infuriates me because my brother talks like this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, the bitch was so loose. I'm like, well, I can explain to you why she was loose. If she had a child, it does go back eventually. Now, if you are getting fisted every time you have sex, that might be it. Like if you're shoving like some porn stars,
have time to rebound and be
but
all
from
elastic.
From a dick, even a 12-inch dick, no. It's women's. The vagina can expand up to 200% when turned on. 200%. Imagine how big it can expand. Okay. So, most of the time, if you're having sex with a young girl and she's really loose, it's probably because you really turned her on, you dick. I'm going to tell you that now. Also...
Oh, shit.
What did you do?
I mean... No, it was just a...
It's a big myth, though, and it's been going around for a long time, and I can't expect... And I didn't actually know that until, like, a couple of years ago myself, right? And I guess there is a scientific fact that thinner girls are not as tight. Because
there's
I
less
have...
pushing
I have a lot of, stuff here that's going to be pushing into my vaginal canal, right? So that's going to make me tighter. Right? I've also got the comment, wow, you're really tight. Like, shocked that I'm tight. And I'm like, that's kind of fucking rude.
Well, I guess they have that mixed perception.
They have that myth, right?
Yeah.
That, well, because I had sex for a living for years, that that means I'm loose. I'm like, no, actually, I get compliments that I'm tight all the time. So it's, and I guess a lot of girls that are thinner have that problem with people just, I don't know why people judge that, though. Like, there's ways you can tighten yourself and, like...
Kegels.
Yeah, and, like, you can, like, if someone's, like, behind me and I'm laying down, I can put my legs together in between their legs, and that makes it a hell of a lot tighter. There's ways to do it,
Would you, because that just made me think of, do you think you would know a more diverse range of sex positions than most people?
Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
So, like, I could probably
Maybe not names.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, like, describing what they are with your hands.
Do people just ask for really strange things you've never heard of for position-wise?
You know what? I don't really get asked to do positions. I say it like I'm still doing it. I didn't.
It just sort of happens?
Get asked for it's. Yeah, they'll just kind of like throw me around. You know what? Honestly, most clients are just it's same old. On top or behind. I like doing it behind because, well, especially if I'm not getting a good vibe from them, or if I'm not connecting with them. I don't kiss my clients. That's absolutely not a thing.
Do some girls do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm attracted to the client, absolutely fucking yes. Which is maybe a little bit hypocritical, but it's a lot of germs being passed back and forth, there's already enough germs being passed back and forth. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of personal kissing, Not a fan of kissing my clients, but I've been asked for a lot of weird shit, and I've just had a lot of weird experiences. I've had a lot of gross experiences with clients, like clients not having proper hygiene.
Like they smell or...
I have 2 instances. I don't know why this has happened 2 times. Where I had clients who had like shit like in their like ass crack or whatever. I had one guy that
was
like,
bigger?
No, actually. Both of them were average sized.
I meant fatter.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
One of them was like, it was like their whole like ass. The other one, it was like just the top of his ass crack. So I'm like, I don't know what the hell, but I was just, I'm very confident, but I'm very nervous about telling people embarrassing things. Like, so I just dealt with it. I just breathed out of my mouth.
Oh no.
I couldn't tell him, and I'm sorry, but both of those guys showered. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you shower.
Especially if there's a shower on site, it's like, just go use that.
And how did that even happen? Like,
they couldn't wipe properly? I don't know.
That's why I asked if they were bigger.
Like, you wipe all the way up and then just like...
Oh, they went...
It was like up here.
Oh, God,
like,
no.
I don't understand. There's so many things that have happened, and like...
Welcome to... the wiping your ass.
It's a PSA for if this is you, stop
just
it.
Do it.
Yeah, just wipe. Just wipe
properly.
There's also another thing that I've experienced with the guy that I'm seeing right now. He's had a vasectomy and his cum tastes fine.
Is that not a common thing?
Apparently, when people get a vasectomy, it changes the taste. I had a client who was a regular.
No sperm in it.
Who was a regular, and I like actually let him finish in my mouth. This was years ago.
That's trust.
It was so bad. Like, how do I explain it? It was like something curdled, like milk curdled mixed with something else. It literally hit my mouth, and I went, huh, and I just ran to the bathroom and I vomited in the sink. I couldn't even make it to the toilet. This is the make you vomit segment. But yeah, so he had a vasectomy and that happened to him. So maybe it's true for some people, but kind of scared me when they get...
Yeah.
I used to gag when I talked about cum in general because I don't really like the taste of it. It's not like a, ooh, that's delicious kind of thing.
We thank women for putting up with us.
Did you know that they make semen-scented anal numbing cream?
What do you mean scented?
Was it semen-scented or semen-flavored?
Flavored, because there's a backstory. We went on vacation to Florida. Just Jesse, his girlfriend, and Tila. Mm-hmm. We all went on vacation, mm-hmm. and we saw a sex shop. And we're like, we're in America. This is a different place. We want to check out this sex shop.
Yeah.
Weirdest thing. We opened the door, and I could see as soon as I walked in, the counter was like literally 40 feet away, straight across. Wow. And as soon as the door opened, she's like, ID, please come up here. And I was like,
Eric looks like a baby.
You do.
I guess.
How old are you?
I am 23.
You have to think about it. You're getting that old. Sorry, continue.
Oh, I'll be 24 soon. It's a pain in the ass.
I'll be 24
soon. Anyway, but she wanted to ID me, and I was like, okay. So we all went up, presented our IDs. Some of us nearly 30, and and we just walked around, and it was a regular sex shop. It was a lot like the stuff we have here.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of things that were semen flavored, and I had never seen that before. Who is out there like, I wish this lube that tastes like cherry or vanilla or whatever the taste is, like, I wish it tasted like semen instead.
It's already bad enough because it doesn't taste like cherry. It tastes like chapstick, like flavored condoms. They taste like, they taste like chapstick. Don't use them. They're awful. They're chapstick flavored condoms.
Does it taste better than dick?
I think dick tastes. I like how dick tastes. Because it's clean shit.
Yeah.
And to anybody that says that the clean women don't have a taste, you're fucking wrong. What's wrong with you? Everybody has a taste. There's a taste. I've had people that weren't talking about me, but were just for instance, my brother's buddies are kind of like him, right? Like vile, and they're like 20 and hicks, and so they're talking about it. They're like, well, if a woman has a taste, then she's gross. I'm like, it's like water. I think water has a taste.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own taste. It doesn't mean that you're... So dick also has a taste.
I can't really speak about dick, but I can say that yes, women do have different tastes, and I don't think any of them really had poor hygiene for the most part.
No. Well, the other thing is that a lot of women actually don't know is you can't use soap down there. That's actually really bad for you. You got to use either special washes, which I use because I can't do but the best thing for you is just water, no soap.
Well, See, I know obviously you don't go inside with anything, but...
This is self-cleaning.
But what if external use soap, like anything that's visible from the outside?
External use, you're just supposed to do water.
Really?
That's the healthiest way, because soap will throw off your pH balance, especially scented soaps. Oh, it's brutal. I'd get infections if I used
yeast
scented
infections.
soaps. And not like even putting it inside, just... There's always a chance that as you're rubbing outside though that it can go in too. Like there's all these factors. But I use Vagisil because it's literally meant for that, right?
You know what you would be good at if you had like a YouTube channel about sexual health advice.
Yeah.
I think.
I do think so.
I had a friend of mine. I didn't mean to laugh at the Vagisil thing, but we occasionally bring up stories like this, and we don't often reference Vagisil.
Never, not once on this.
Reasons.
Yeah.
I had a friend who wasn't necessarily the smartest.
Okay.
And he used Vagisil as lube.
What?
The only thing I didn't ask him because I didn't want to have the conversation with him.
Like soapy.
I'm thinking because, as I said,
Why did the girl let him?
Oh no, for himself.
Oh, to jack off.
Yeah. Probably because it was like, it feels like vagina.
No.
That would have had like some, after a while, it would have gotten sticky though. Like most lubes, like actually.
Water-based ones, they get kind of sticky.
Yeah.
Went into his room, he had Vagisil on his bedside table. Okay, so I mean, I guess based on that story, it might have been his sister's, but there's no reason for it to be on his bedside table.
No, it's not. He was obviously using it. He was obviously using it. That's quite obvious. I just don't understand it.
Well, you know what? Sometimes people are stupid. The first lube I ever used was hand sanitizer. So.
Oh God, fuck. Why?
Did you have any cuts or anything? Did it get in your urethra?
No.
Oh, thank God. Was it really clean after?
Well, so
no bacteria there anymore.
My bedroom is normally in the basement. We had family over, and I was in the spare bedroom for whatever reason. I think.
So you thought they just had lube chilling?
Well, no, I didn't know. I was in bed. I was like young, like 12, 13, right around that age where anything is good. But I'm in bed, and I'm like, I was thinking about. Probably American Pie 2, where he puts the super glue, but he thought it was lube. And I'm like, hand sanitizer. It dries up. There's no mess. It's perfect.
Oh, you actually picked to do. I thought it was by accident.
I was stupid. For actual note, I also put my brother's hearing aids in a microwave to dry them off one time.
Oh, no.
That went well. So I wasn't the brightest child. So hand sanitizer, that was fun. Hand sanitizer, I'm like, there'll be no mess. It'll dry up. It'll be great. Lots of hand sanitizer. I'd go. And for a second, it was amazing. And then,
this is cooling, right?
My family and the older family out just like from here to the fridge, separated by a door. I was like, it was horrible. It did dry.
Yeah.
It was not good.
It would have been super cooling, right? Like super cool.
Yeah.
It was painful and cooling and just not not good. Not a
you
good
know what else
first
is
experience.
Painful and cooling, people out there watching this, fucking hot and cold lube. Don't do it.
Hot and cold lube.
There's this lube that's like
is
hot
that a
cold.
Trojan makes
now this is
same
just
with the
a
hot
sex
stuff.
advice cast.
Same with the cold stuff on its own. All those things. I got burns. It actually burned my vagina.
Like temperature or like it was
like burned my skin. Like it physically actually left burns on
was
my
that
skin.
acidic? Like in a
like it'd be some kind of chemical reaction because it's not physically hot.
No, of course not. But it heats up with the contact of your skin, right? But it somehow with the chemicals had left burns on my skin. I tried to use it again another time, and it was it's going in your vaginal canal. Like you shouldn't be using.
That's a sensitive area. Anyway.
Yeah, like I think that anybody, even though it gets sticky, water-based lube is honestly the best and healthiest thing you can use.
What do you think about silicone lube?
It's not bad. It's just health-wise, water-based would be the best, because again, the vaginal canal is so sensitive.
I've heard that silicone lube is good because it doesn't get into any pores or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just sort of will leave by itself.
Yeah, it's all whatever the mix of chemicals is and stuff like that. It's just I don't use lube because I get really, really wet, so there's no problem with except for like when I was working.
Wow. Brag much.
Spit works. Well, spit works, right?
Yeah.
Why don't people just use spit?
Some people
Spit
really
works.
don't like spit. I know a couple of them.
Is it you?
No, I don't care. I would be a little bit put off if a girl was like spit on. I'm like, I
Girl
guess.
spit in my mouth once.
Yeah, no.
Yeah?
I don't like that.
No warning.
Oh?
Like just.
I used to be able to spit in my own mouth. That's cool. I'd like spit and catch it. It was a whole.
That'd be a parlor trick. But
we know someone who's going to be cringing so hard.
Oh
when we're watching this
or I
right
can
now.
just say the word. I get moist.
But no, there's this woman casually dating, and we started, and she, like, no forethought or whatever, we were just about to get in bed, and she went, I'm like, what the? Huh?
Was it that, like, lackluster? Like,
No, I don't know how you realistically imitate something. It wasn't good.
So, was she attractive? Okay, she wasn't.
Not
you had to think about it.
I don't have...
If you pause when someone says, "Is she attractive?" It's like, no.
I've shot about like a 70% of bragging range, and then there's a few that aren't good. One of them reminded me of Jon Favreau. It's
That's amazing.
No, Jon Favreau in like the first Iron Man where he was a bigger guy and he had pecs. This woman didn't have, like, her boobs were pecky.
Yeah?
Like, they weren't nice, but they felt like she might work out, but she was fat. With respect, if you ever happen to fall upon this, I sucked in bed too. It's okay.
At least she's honest.
Well, for the longest time, I really had to be kind of shallow because I had to be really into it in order to maintain.
Yeah, true.
With a back problem and whatnot.
Well, see, you guys have to actually get it up. Like, I can just like, and go ahead. Like, I'm good. Well, and also, I didn't ask other people to spit on my vagina. I found that gross.
Yeah. I don't know. It's.
But why would I find it gross? I'm like gagging on their dick with drool dripping out of my mouth and spitting on their dick and
it's a bit of a double
licking
standard,
it off. But like other people spit, even though you can eat me out, it's just not spit. I don't know.
I could understand that. Yeah.
I don't know why I have no problem with someone eating me out, but like going like on my vag. I don't know. It kind of grosses me out.
Well,
just the idea of it.
If I ate an apple. If I took a bite of an apple, it's like, do you want a bite of an apple? You might take a bite. But if I spit on the apple,
no,
I'm not going to bite it.
Yeah.
Okay, but are you guys fucking? No?
No.
Say you and I were fucking.
100% declare.
Okay, but think about it. Say you and I were fucking, and again, same thing. Would you like some of my apple and I spit on it? Would you eat it?
I have to
That's
say
a
no.
toothbrush
Right?
debate.
I have to say
I will
no.
never use someone.
See?
Fuck.
Yeah. No, I could literally be eating someone out, and then they're like, "What? Let me just spit on it for you." I'd be like, "No, wait a minute. I don't want to do that."
But you'll make out with them a second after. Yeah.
I think that might be something
it's
that is
the idea of it.
It's inbuilt to like our evolutionary
it's ingrained
process
for
that
sure. Absolutely,
you've got to take
gross.
certain sanitary methods. And I mean, it doesn't help necessarily directly with procreation, so you probably don't need to...
Okay, let me ask you this now. If I was sucking you off and I spit on your dick, does that turn you on? Some people it does.
Doesn't turn me on, but it wouldn't be as off-putting.
Because it's not going in your mouth.
Yeah.
I know some people that's a huge turn on. Like, I just do that, and then
It's almost kind of degrading.
It is.
That's
the
people
whole
like
point,
that,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is that it's degrading. Same with, like, face fucking and stuff, and you're, like, drooling and makeup's everywhere. It's the whole thing, right? It's the whole, you're in complete charge and I'm 100% submissive to you kind of thing, right? So, I don't really like this. See, I don't know why I like being submissive, because I love being thrown around, but I also love being in charge. So...
It means you have a wide variety of customers.
Yeah. Although I will say that most clients, I wouldn't do things that I actually did in bed. Like, it's pretty basic when I was escorting. It was pretty basic stuff. Like, I wouldn't do any of this BDSM stuff with clients, I don't think, unless I was very attracted.
No, and
I was attracted
the level of trust between individuals.
That's the thing. I have to really trust someone to do it, because if you do break one of my bones, I'm going to need you to drive me to the hospital, not just leave me there. Mm-hmm. There's a vulnerability where if I'm tied up, I can't get out. Yeah. So if you decide just not to let me out,
you almost need like a supervisor at that point.
Yeah, like
if it's a professional
scary
thing.
Sometimes. Like you get murdered, right? So I really don't start doing the hardcore stuff until I start really falling for someone, or have, or at least I trust them, mm-hmm. and I have actual feelings for them, or I've been to their house, they've been to my house, they've slept over and haven't killed me. That's kind of when I start doing the weirder shit, because like it's that it is dangerous too, right? Like especially with bondage and stuff like that you can't get out of unless they let you out, right? So it's just it's this scary aesthetic that I like. Like I actually had a guy who not craziest. I used to go to these BDSM parties where they had like hooks and stuff. I used to get like drowned while I was being fucked and get like electric fucking golf cart on my nipples and stuff.
Okay, this is more extreme than anything we've talked about.
Oh yeah, like I'm like into like actual extreme BDSM, but I only do it once in a while because it's tiring, right? It is exhausting. Can't
imagine why.
But I had a guy that just like, it was relatively recently, like I guess like 3 or 4 months ago or something. I haven't actually had sex in a while, but he picked me up and demanded that I stay blindfolded. Like he wasn't telling me where we were going. So this is like ultimate trust.
Ooh.
So he picked me up, though I've been with him before.
Oh.
And there's other information that I can't divulge because people would know who he is. So I got in this car and he had another girl, but the girl could see. They could both see. So I am blindfolded for a half-an-hour car ride where she's, eating me out and I'm sucking him off while he's driving. It's like he's a pretty good driver.
So where is because he's driving, so he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah. I was in the front seat. This was acrobatic. She's coming from the back.
Oh, wow.
As he's fingering her.
Oh, okay.
It's like this weird
triangle.
I'm like upside down.
That is not a safe way to drive your car.
Ass in the air. Absolutely not.
No.
But he did it. Wouldn't even...
That'd be a horrible way. If you got in a car accident, the cops come. You're like, what?
It'd be amazing. What we got there, and he was very, very determined to stay in this whole aesthetic. Like, I was not allowed to take it off. Like, we fucking ate food. And I ate blindfolded.
What'd you eat? Set the story. Set the scene.
I think he actually made like steak and potatoes or
something.
something.
Classy.
It was really
not
good,
like
but it was, and wine and everything, and I'm like drinking, I'm like, can't see anything, We're just chatting, like I'm sitting at a table fully naked. I don't know if they have clothes on or if she has clothes on. Then we get to the bedroom, and it was great. They tied me up and it was awesome. And I couldn't move though. I stayed in the same position the whole time, but they just kind of switched around. Except for he likes to really kind of try to bend me and push me past my limit with the restraints, which I like too. I don't like just staying. Like I like the restraints actually like cutting into my skin, at least some pressure, right? Like I've seen some people where it's just like loosely, like okay, like no, I'm like fucking twist me as I was. My legs were tied and my arms were tied, and he's turning me sideways and fucking me as it's taut, right? But then when we were done, I still wasn't allowed to see her. We got in the fucking truck.
Really?
You don't know who it was?
No idea.
That's crazy.
Could be anybody. And he did this because he's smart. I told him that I'm very picky when it comes to women.
Ooh.
Because I'm extremely picky when it comes to women. Like, very picky. I used to date women. I don't anymore.
They're hard.
2 women, no. Like, I'm kind of more, like, male. Like, I have a very male outlook of everything, I think. So I was always what did I do wrong? She's like, you fucking know what you did wrong. I'm like, I don't. She's like, well, let me know when you do. I'm always the idiot, right? Because I'm the male. Like, I'm in between butch and feminine. I'm not butch, but I'm not feminine. I'm kind of in between it. So I always take on the butch male role. So I'm done with that. But regardless, I was so picky, and he fucking came up with this brilliant idea that I can't see her at all.
And you think it worked?
Yeah, for sure. I was totally into it.
She could have been whatever you wanted.
Fucking anything that I wanted. I want to do it again. With someone, maybe not them like someone else, but it was so fucking awesome. Like I can't see anyone else that would be willing to hold that aesthetic.
That is a weird thing you see on like Craigslist ads where people have very specific situations that they want to happen in an exact way. I wonder if those people really ever do get fulfilled, because that sounds like a tall order to ask a stranger for.
This week on Craigslist, but it wasn't Niagara.
This week on Craigslist.
Yeah. This week on Craigslist, Toronto Craigslist. Researching this, I saw an ad that said, and I mean, I'm sure it'd just be a weird amalgamation of people.
Okay.
I am going to be masturbating at 10:30 with my window open. You're inviting people to your address! And then what? It's the worst thing. You have a bunch of guys getting hard outside your window thinking, this is pretty hot, eh? Yeah! Oh, look. Like, I don't understand that.
The aesthetic of men being able to stand beside each other hard. What about strip clubs?
Yeah. I've never got an erection in a strip club. Except for the lap dance.
Yeah.
But I'm not... when we went on Dylan's birthday...
Do you wait until it goes down until you come out to see your buddies?
I mean, I'm quick to turn around if I need to be. Really, the only time I've been in a strip club is... And the one time I had a lap dance, it wasn't all that great.
No.
But... no, when we're sitting around like on Dylan's birthday, I'm not gonna, pop a boner in front of my father.
Yeah, he's right there.
You, Tila, and whatnot.
There is a conscious element to it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't even like strip clubs.
Yeah,
that much.
I'm not. We did it for Dylan's 19th, so it's the occasional.
I think it's the money for me, just because I'm like
I don't go there and get lap dances. I go there and I just drink.
Yeah, but it costs $20 per person to get in.
And
it depends on the day you go, I guess. Yeah.
Well, and you want a water bottle, that's $6 or whatever.
Okay, but I can tell you liquor is about the same, but they give you more because they want you drunk.
Yeah.
I drink liquor. That's okay.
I think the way that I need to do it is I need to have a budget of it. Like, I'm going to spend this much. I'm just going to have as much fun as I can.
That's what I do.
Because when I go there, every time I've gone to a strip club, it's like it was somebody else's idea, and we just go that night. And then I'm like, well, I'm here. I don't really want to blow a ton of money because this is...
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be worth it.
I don't get lap dances. I don't believe in me getting lap dances. Also, because I used to get them for free at Penthouse because I worked at Penthouse, right? When it was Crystals, then it turned into Penthouse, then it turned back into Crystals again. Now it's some weird fucking club that's... I don't know what the fuck it is. Keep changing it. But I used to get free lap dances, so now I'm like... I don't want to pay for lap dances now. Like, every time I go there, because every time I go to the strip club, I'm out with all my guy friends, right? The strippers feel this need to like walk up to me and be like, "Hey, can I sit here?" Like I'm in charge of the table because I'm female. And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Ask them. Like, ask them if they want to spend money. Always, girls always come up to me. Hey,
maybe they're more comfortable starting that way.
Here? Yeah, and it's just interesting because like I didn't do that when I stripped. I just straight up went to the table and said, "Does anybody want a lap dance?" Or a table dance, or, but there's a lot of girls that are very, I was going to say determined, but that's the wrong word. They're desperate. And they'll sit on your lap, and you're like,
Yeah, I think that was also the element that I
not interested.
I didn't
off of my lap.
Didn't like when they would be very forceful with it. It's like I would pick you and let you know if I was interested in something.
Yeah. Those are people that are desperate. And it infuriates me. Like, this girl did it to one of the guys I was with, and he's just this little cute little nerdy guy, and he doesn't know how to handle himself yet, right? So she sits on his lap. She's like 2 times his size. So it was like a circus already. And she's like talking to him and like boobs in his face, and he's like, but he's also nervous, right? He's like,
no, I'm
into
okay.
Into it, but he's actually very handsome. He just doesn't know. He doesn't know how handsome he is, and he thinks that because he's nerdy, I'm a nerd, and I'm a nerd. So I don't think that all nerds are unattractive. So he just needs to come into himself. But she was using him for that. It was infuriating me. So I finally told her to get the fuck off his lap. He's not interested. He doesn't have the money because he's trying to save money. He didn't want lap dances. Also because I think he's too nervous to go to lap dance. Because you go one-on-one, even though you're paying, you still like gotta like maybe talk or engage. Don't just sit there like,
don't turn the nipples.
like, okay, thanks. Like, you can just picture him doing that. So I looked at him, I'm like, are you interested in a lap dance? He's like, no. I'm like, then get the fuck off of him. And she's like, what's your problem, bitch? And I stood up, and then she realized, yeah, well, see, listen, I don't do this catty woman, nee. So I stood up, and because like I'm huge into fitness, right? Still trying to lose a little bit of weight in my stomach, but regardless, I'm relatively muscular for a female, and she's tiny, and I stand up, and she's like, oh. It's like she didn't realize because I was like in a dress or something. And I'm like, listen, if we're going to have an issue, we can go outside. If not, just fucking back off. And she's like, oh, okay, and walks away. Because I'm like, I'm not doing this catty, I don't like being violent either. But if you're going to get in my face, I'm also claustrophobic, right? So it's like, back up, please, because you're freaking me out. And if you freak me out enough, you know, you might get injured, but like, I just...
You won't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, and they just, a lot of these girls see the weakest links. They look for the weakest links and want, or what they think is the weakest
See if they
link.
get money out of them.
Yeah, and like with me, I just walked around and people picked me. Like, I'd go up table to table, be like, hey, how's it going? You know, do you need anything? Kind of show them the goods, and that's it. It's not that hard to read body language. If some guy's like, it's like, okay, would you like a lap dance? Because you look like a dog. It's like, but if everybody's just like, yeah, we're fine, but, you know, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to, I'll just sit on your lap and irritate you more or like pressure you into getting a lap dance. Like, come on. But again, like I was saying earlier with the internet ruining it, it's just, same with escorting, I guess, is like there used to be so many more clients and stuff before all this free porn and these cam shows that are free for a certain amount of time. And
that's an interesting thing because if you do own any porn site, there's so many ads for cam girls, and I guess people are really into the authenticity of it, being like, oh, I can.
It's one-on-one.
It's a one-on-one thing with this girl.
She's doing this just for me.
She'll do whatever, you know. I pay her to do.
Much money from it though. Like I wanted to do it, but I don't want proof.
It's like you're proof. Making your own physical proof.
That's why I didn't ever do porn, because I have no problem with it. It's just I'm picturing me having a child, and my child being like 17 years old and being like, Mom, I'm going out drinking, and me being like, no, you're not, you're 17, and then her being like, is this not you at 18 years old sucking this black guy's dick? It's I can imagine the proof. Or just people, you know, just like, look what you did, Mom. You know, like, and it's not even because, like, I'd be ashamed because I did it. It's more like because I don't want it to be used against me. Like, you did this, so, or jobs, if ever finding, you know what I mean? Like, it's so internet-based now, jobs and stuff. Like, they'll search your phone number, and they'll search your name, and they'll search all this stuff.
Which is interesting. I don't know if any of my previous employees have ever done that.
Yeah.
For me, when you hired me for DH Media, what did you look at anything online? Because I probably sent you a link to my photos. Which would have given
you sent the link. Tila did a lot of the searching, mainly because she was like, "Oh, we need another person." No, we didn't. I'm glad you're here. We didn't. Right?
Worked in my favor.
It's a very good situation, but. The photos were really kind of what I cared about mostly. That's why we met. You weren't a douche. That was the big pass.
Not that common for photographers.
That's a big one. A lot of them are douchey. You have an experience. I mean, you can on a yearly basis with just a bunch of douchey photographers. You didn't have that, and you're still not that yet. But
maybe I'll be.
I don't see him being douchey.
No, never.
He has this quiet, considerate vibe.
Sometimes it's calculating, and the calculating is what nerves me a little bit.
For sure.
And then other times
you got to keep people on their toes.
Well, and then other times, you know, there'll be a moment where there's a connection, like the using a tablet as a screen yesterday, where it was actually a nice problem solved, where we stood in the middle of somebody's wedding.
So we did a photo booth. You're familiar with the concept of a photo booth, right? Where you just at weddings, you know, people have these big carts and they have a screen on them.
For a couple of years,
yeah. So So, anyways, I have hand-built this photo booth system, and it was just the biggest issue because we didn't get to test it out beforehand, and I was sure there was going to be some kind of hitch.
Yeah.
And it turned out the hitch was just a critical failure of, like, the screen.
Okay.
Because there's an LCD screen on it that the people can see themselves, and they can see a timer counting down to when the photo's going to be taken, and it sucked that it didn't work.
Yeah.
But then we all...
Full disclosure, it did work, bride and groom, if they're listening.
The concept did work. It didn't perform the way that I had anticipated it to. Andrew killed it. Oh my god, he's the best person we've ever had run the photo booth. So if anything, they got the best photo booth we have ever delivered. But on that topic, we wanted to come up with a solution for this problem. Jesse just made the it seems so simple that he thought of it. It was amazing. You know those Surface tablets, the ones that run full Windows?
Yeah.
You could just put the photo booth program on that and put that in the box.
That's a good idea.
That 20 seconds of audio and video footage that we just shot right there. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be all over my Facebook. Jesse just came up with
That's awesome.
Because my old solution was I would take computer monitors, take all the plastic off of them, and I just have a panel and electronics, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like in the way that reliability goes, because I would have to test it, see if it works, build boxes to hold things in place, and it's a process. Have you? Ooh, there's a camera with a dead battery.
I'll do a quick little replacement.
Have you ever like just sat in like photo booths at weddings or anything like that, or?
No.
No.
I only think I've been to like 2 weddings.
Really?
To be honest, like my cousin's wedding, and then my aunt or uncle's wedding or something years and years and years ago. Honestly, I think that's the only. Wait, let me just grab my phone quickly. My ass is sweating. Look at that.
We have to do it by New Year's. Actually, we said that on episode 8 that we have to get it to a point where we can do it live.
I think there's an audience for the stupid thing I said with like ask and escort. I think there's actually like for health advice or relationship advice or sex advice or whatever it is.
Can I sign you into a multi-episode contract right now?
Okay. Would you make your own content? Like, would you?
Yeah.
You'd make your own YouTube videos and have like a series kind of thing?
Yeah. I think it would be popular because there's so many things that I could do. Like I could do shit with the horses, and I could do stuff with relationship and I actually used to have a sex blog that was quite popular. But I was young. I was like 18 or 19, and I was still living at home, and my parents did not approve it. So they said, you either take it down or you move out. So it was actually quite. I posted some photos on there too.
Did you take it down or move out?
I took it down.
Okay.
I fully took it down, but it was quite popular, and writing is one thing, but I like talking a lot, as you see.
That seems to be the our blog thing. Whether we do a vlog or a blog, there's writing, but then there's also doing it on camera.
Yeah, like I have absolutely no problem talking for hours, and I have no problems answering any questions either. So it's just like I don't know. I've always had people asking me if I'd make like. Again, like it's always like relationship or sex advice or health advice and stuff like that. So I think people would be interested in it, honestly.
Do you find would you want to go the route of trying to up your own production value, having like a nice camera, a nice studio kind of setup, or would you see value maybe going to a place that's already a studio?
Like I would like to do actual photography myself eventually with a nice camera, nice setup. But with this kind of stuff, I think I'd honestly be better in a place like this, not my own. I don't think that I have the time I have the time constantly to do certain day, you know what I mean? But like to do it like every single day and just do it by myself, I don't think I'm experienced enough. I really don't think I'm experienced enough. I'd like to learn more about it, obviously, but me doing it by myself, I don't think is plausible. It
kind of opens up the idea that I'm sure Jesse and I have thought about having like a storefront or somewhere that people can come to, and we could even rent out a space aside from also using it to the fullest ourselves. Would be kind of nice.
I think that'd be a good idea, actually.
And there are creative spaces like that, although I haven't liked any implementations I've seen of that.
A lot of them have failed.
Yes. I guess people can't find ways to make money from it.
They try to monetize the space.
Yeah.
And the last one, the big one that Tila and I always talk about, great photographers, they took a chance And they created a beautiful space. They had a boudoir room set up with nicely diffused light. Like, it looked really nice. And they had the big cyclorama. But it was like a subscription.
Yeah.
But you couldn't ever, like, you couldn't guarantee your time. Like, it was all schedule based. So if I was like, hey, you know what, this was fun. You're looking to get back into modeling. Let's do something tomorrow. Can't do it.
Yeah, true.
May not be able to do it. And they unfortunately didn't succeed.
There's one channel called Wow Presents, and it's actually all about, like, I don't know if you've ever seen RuPaul's Drag Race, but it's all like transgender people that had been, drag queens that had been on the show, and they have all these like little YouTube shows, like they have like literal shows, kind of like this podcast, and it's just in a basement, like a really nicely painted, really beautiful area, nice cameras. And this whole channel just runs on just all these people coming in there and filming their little shows. It's pretty cool.
It's like public access kind of content.
Yeah. It's called Wow Presents, and it's good quality cameras. There's like actual camera people that I think that they can. I'm pretty sure the way it works is they can hire these people to do it for them, or they can use the equipment. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's something. It's obviously slightly different than what you're talking about, but it's. Yeah,
it's this interesting idea that the only part of what you're doing is that the space in front of that camera needs to be perfect.
Yes.
Everything outside of it, it could be in a really damp basement, but you know what? If it looks good,
it just has to be. It just has to be that little area, and it is nice to be able to change it up once in a while with different backgrounds. That's also something that can be beneficial. But yeah, like it's if you have the right mindset to do it, I think you can. Like, I think that a lot of people don't follow through with what they want to do.
This is 15 weeks.
Yeah, we've been
doing it for 15 weeks.
In a while.
Yeah.
And I would, the more guests we get on, I think the better. Because when you aren't here and there's no guest present, Jesse and I have just been saying the same things, I think, too much. And
yes and no.
It's been okay, but...
Well, if you did want, like, to just have, like, you know, eventually have, like, random talks about random shit, I'm always happy to come and talk my ass off about whatever topic. Or
the nice thing, even though we haven't worked out the details, we've started to go to outside businesses that have interesting concepts.
That's
this for anybody who's watching, especially Teal, this is the meta part of the podcast where we talk about the podcast.
But sorry, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No,
but yes, we. So, can you name this business yet, or is it not concrete?
I was going to go meet with them this week, but it's something that we've talked about quite a bit on the podcast as a technology that is now being run in a commercial space.
Can we mention the technology because it's not a specific
virtual reality?
Okay, so we know somebody who has a virtual reality space where they sell an experience.
That's
and
awesome.
I reached out to them and I said, "We're a new podcast. You're a new business. We've talked about virtual reality. I personally haven't experienced it in a gaming or experience firsthand, minus 360 videos. Can we do something?" And
I almost want to jump off that back into something else. What do you think virtual reality is going to do to the whole business of, I don't know, I would say necessarily selling sex?
I even have an opinion.
Yeah. Like, if you can put on a headset, and it is so immersive, you can imagine your fantasy, it could be whatever you want.
You can have fleshlights, you know, that can be customized to certain porn stars' vaginas. You can have dildos that are literally molded out of a certain porn star's dick. Like, you could literally picture fucking someone. They could have, like, some interactive dummy or something, you know, like an ass and tits or something you could grab and have, like, a fleshlight that's all interactive. And we would be, well, I don't do it anymore, I say it like we, but the escorting business would be fucked.
But there's also the side of it where somebody in that business could switch and start creating content in a paid way.
Yeah,
like,
true.
They'd be like,
true.
You know,
that'd be very strange to do.
Or you talk to a camera and you, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you like that, baby?
Have you ever watched ASMR videos?
Yes.
Okay, like that, but porn, right?
But they're kind of already doing that. As I've said before, I was able to get a hold of just a cheap shell of virtual reality, like just the
one you put your phone in.
The one you put your phone in.
Okay.
And even on YouTube, so no real porn.
It was like an erotic thing?
There's like the woman is walking around seductively in her underwear, and you're kind of following her around the room. And even on the cheapest of cheap, it's immersive because you're like, oh, come back.
Yeah.
Like, so even on the lowest level, there's a. Oh, I want to see where the hell she's going.
There's robots too, so
that's another level beyond. Virtual reality is going to be perfected before I think we have good sex robots.
There's a lot of women that are like, oh, freaked out because they're going to get replaced. No, listen, we have dildos that are bigger than any man can possibly have, and we still want men. I still want men. I have like 40 dildos and like 5 strap-ons, and I have 2 pocket pussies for guys if they're interested, and I have like everything you can imagine, and I still want men. So, you know,
I don't want men.
I don't think if there's... And we have machines that can fuck us. Many machines. We have rocking chairs that you can just rock on and it fucks you, and we still want men. So
the human connection, I don't think is ever going to be entirely replaced. But
man,
man,
I don't know if like movies like Gamer and stuff. That was really interesting to look into.
Oh yeah,
to look into the whole literal virtual like.
Where
so
you are
in
that world.
That person.
I was just reading an article about a tech company that was doing virtual reality situation where they had developed an algorithm where you can communicate with the computer, and it'll display it as though it's a person. And these people are spending 30 minutes with this person talking, and they're replying not necessarily with generic topics, but they're saying, "Well, you know what? That's really interesting." They'll say something in the algorithm, like it's a really smart algorithm that relates to what they're talking, and they'll say, well, how do you feel about this? And after the 30 minutes, a lot of the people were saying, I'd like to talk to them more. Like, he was really cute and whatnot, and they know it's fake.
Yeah.
So, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
the robots are taking over.
Well, I got that tattoo from Gamer on here, because I'm
right
really,
here with you.
It's a really shitty tattoo. I gotta get it redone, but that's what reminded me of it. But I don't know. I think it's going to be like WALL-E eventually. Like, we're just going to be so fucking fat, so immersed in our technology, not for a good thing.
I hope it's not like WALL-E.
Like, no. Like grossly obese. Like can't even walk, and like living...
Until the end of the movie.
On a...
I think Jesse might say it. Do you ever watch those, like, these film theory things that will break down some fan conspiracy? Yeah, there's the one where there's cannibalism in WALL-E. I love those videos so much. I don't get into like actual conspiracy theories, but if you want to get into a conspiracy about a movie and a fictional event, I can get into that.
Yeah, no, they're really interesting.
I just watched one today about Back to the Future.
Okay.
And how in the original Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox's mom is an alcoholic, and they never address it. Like that's never something that was mentioned.
No.
That makes sense.
But they say that in every timeline that they did in Back to the Future 1 and 2, she was about to or ended up being sexually assaulted by Biff. The only one where she didn't is the one that Marty interfered. So, she's an alcoholic because she's still trying to deal with the repercussions from being sexually assaulted, and she ended up marrying Crispin Glover character because he is everything that Biff wasn't. So she was going for somebody who's not aggressive and somebody who's not a jock and whatnot. So it was a very interesting, kind of sad theory.
Yeah. There's a lot
where
of
does the alcohol come into it?
At the beginning of the movie, when they're sitting at dinner and she's like, kids, we have to use the cake alone again. Your Uncle Joey didn't make bail. She throws it on the table. She's drinking constantly through that scene. And she looks haggard.
Yeah.
Like a lot more haggard than her rich self looks like.
Yeah.
And she's not anything like her pre-Michael J. Fox in the past was. Like she was a party girl. She was cute. She was flirty. Kind of slutty, as you find out.
That's very plausible. That makes a lot of sense.
So film theories are fun.
They are.
Yeah.
And then the writers are like, we didn't intend, but yeah, that makes sense.
Like maybe that is what we were thinking. I don't even know.
Or you tell us.
That's like the high school interpretation of Shakespeare, and the teachers are just making stuff up, and you're like, I don't know if Shakespeare meant that.
Yeah.
Was that really in there, or you're reading too much into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they want to seem deep.
Yeah.
But what is reading too much into it? Like, I've had people tell me that I read too much into things sometimes, and I'm like, well, maybe I'm not. Maybe you're not reading enough into it. You know, it all depends on everybody's opinion on it, right? Like,
with something with an author, though, you'd think that they would have fully fleshed out their intentions at the very least. And if there's some subliminal message that nobody had intended, sure, I guess it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, or some people take certain things differently. Like, when you're reading a book, you're imagining it in a certain way, and everybody's imagining it.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see creative differences.
I'm just thinking that, like, just with things like that, it's I think I read into things too much sometimes. I think I do, and I think I just spit on you too. So sorry.
That's a turn off. I actually have, and this might be a bad question to ask right at the end, but just in case, just the stuff that you've mentioned. You don't live with regrets, but it seems like you started at the beginning because you needed money for horse lessons, riding lessons. And then there was that drug period. But was there ever a time where you were doing it because you enjoyed it? Or like I don't know what the time period is, but there was drugs, there was the need for money. You say you occasionally fall back in it for the financial.
I made sure that I enjoyed every client, but I don't say I'd overall was doing it because I enjoyed it, or I'd be doing it for free.
That's fair.
Right? I was certainly getting laid on the side for free. But it's so hard to explain because it fucked with my head. Like, it fucked me up mentally doing that. But I also learned a lot of things too, you know, and I don't know, because I refuse to say I regret it, because I don't. But, you know, can I say I regret certain things within it? Like, there's certain things that I maybe regret, but the whole escorting on the whole, I don't regret. I don't see the point in regretting things I've done. It's the only thing that you should regret is something that you haven't learned from. Like, even some people say, like, oh, I regretted that relationship. I've had a lot of shitty relationships, and I don't regret any of them because I learned from them. If you don't learn from them, then, of course, you're going to regret it. But everything happens, you know, for whatever reason, and if you're, you know, have a shitty relationship, if you learn from it, that's a good thing. That wasn't time wasted. That was time spent, you know, learning things about yourself and fixing things about yourself. So
I think sometimes those relationships drag on a little bit longer than you need to learn the lesson.
Sure, but then you learn that it went on too long, you know, and the only time I think that time was ever wasted is if you didn't learn from it. So that's what I think.
I can agree with that.
That's definitely what I think.
I think
a lot of funny things happened on the way to the podcast, and that's why we're here. This has been fun. This has been like I think it's pushed the boundaries of being the longest ever. But I think when you get a guest on, we hit a stride at the beginning. I was a little quiet, and I realized, but once we started going,
I want to talk about horses for a little bit. That was nice.
Yeah. That's actually the biggest part of my life. Doesn't seem like it, but
no. This has been fun. This is until next week.
What's this podcast called?
A funny thing happened on the way to the podcast.
Oh.
It's really long.
Okay.
Really long name.
That's a long one.
Yeah.
But a funny thing actually did happen.
It always does.
So
it's a very true thing.
I also got butt-ass naked in your car and changed.
Yes, you did.
And maybe flashed a couple people. I was wearing this beautiful dress, and it was way too tight because my arm muscles are getting pretty big. And I was going to, like, break it, and my ass... It was literally to here, this dress. I don't know if the camera can see my ass, but it was literally to there, so I changed in his car.
We just went up 10,000 views.
Thumbnail.
I'll just start, every time I start coming, I'll just wear less and less clothing, and then eventually I'll just do it naked.
Then we can't put it on YouTube. We're going to have to...
Oh, you can push the limit.
I can put pasties on, and I can wear like
true.
the tiniest thong on the face of the planet, and we'll do the whole interview, and I'll just do this the whole time.
We'll all wear that outfit.
That might generate views for different reasons.
Because you're just the cutest little twink if you were.
I have too much hair to be a twink. That's not.
No, you could be like a. Could you be a bear twink? Is that such a thing?
I don't know.
We're both hairy.
Too much hair.
So you're still you could, if you were gay, you'd still be a twink.
Good to know.
What's a twink?
A twink is.
It's like a hairless gay person.
No, it's not hairless.
Like a scrawny build.
Scrawny build, little cute face, young boy face kind of thing.
So that's.
I did not mean that as an insult. I think you're very. I think you're very attractive. So that's absolutely. It was not an insult.
I didn't take it as an insult. I thought it was kind of funny.
You saw it coming too, because I saw your face like right before I said it.
I'm just hairy.
Well, you're a bear in the gay community, so you would actually probably go well together if you were both gay.
I don't think so, Jesse. I'm sorry to break your heart, but no.
We've had this theoretical.
I'm just saying your builds, not necessarily your personalities. Just if you were both gay, you would probably go after the same type of build if you were gay. I'm just saying. It's
good to know. Maybe in another life.
I'm halfway there, so.
Whoa, living on a prayer.
Okay. Signing off.
Yeah, I'm Jesse. It's been fun.
I'm James.
Oh, you got the hair for it.
Meow, that's right.
Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good week.
See you later. Oh, that was good.